Blind light. Oh, what a tool. Gearbox is canceled. He's playing it cool. Thought he'd give it a chance, but he turned his back. Now the show's canceled, thanks to his life. Watching Gearbox, that was his task. But blind Mike, he refused to bask in the glory of a show so great. Now it's gone, sealed by his fate. Oh, blind Mike, why'd you run away? Couldn't give Gearbox just one little play. Your betrayal hurt, oh, it cut so deep. Now the show's gone, buried 6 feet beneath. Buried 6 feet.
Well, look at you, just sitting waiting for a blind man to entertain you. What has entertainment become? Howard Stern ain't funny. All we have now are these YouTube shows. Speaking of which, hello gearheads. Happy Sunday to you and your fake Sky Daddy. We really are a stupid species, and mostly because of the nonsense you believe in. But hey, football season is almost here. We have a special show today in which I mean blinding you with a fluorescent light right in your face for a few hours on Sunday morning. No, it is much, much worse. Characters, gross. Today, we have a little bit of everything. The Tom Brady roast. A comedian not named Jim is banging trans. Bryan Callen is having a bit of life regret. RIVERA still exists. Blind Mike sucks up to Shane Gillis like a good little girl. Dat Phan puts every one of you to sleep. A game with me, Jerry Seinfeld, and maybe even more. So put the lotion down and release your member to put your crusty hands together for your host, the man, the myth, the comedy commenting legend. Go ahead and say it, Tom Myers.
Thanks, Jerry. It is kind of my thing now. Ladies and gentlemen,
Blind Mike Geary!
Good to see Jerry back. It's been a while since the sign man was on. I don't know if you guys picked up on it. It was very subtle in the intro, the countdown to the show. Takes a keen observer to notice, but I think there might be a little resentment from Hack Ride as far as Gearbox ending. Would you say that's fair?
No. That's just it. Creativity. Yes, it's a creativity. That was made by DJ Electra. She sent that to me. I'm like, oh, we're playing that.
That was an Electra joint?
Yes.
Shocking.
Electra is getting too good. It's ridiculous.
That bothers me that she would undercut me like that. I kind of thought she was on my side a little bit. That hurts.
She is on your side. I am here. Oh my God, the nights she talks me through you. No, she just gives me a little support when I need it, saying, yes, I got your back. I know you worked hard on that.
Well, everyone, I'm sure is very excited. No Craig, and Hack Ride is here today. I'm ready for the comments about Hack Ride's voice. I'm prepared for them. I don't know why it bothers people so much, although I will say, if you had the privilege of being backstage before the show, if you could talk to Hack Ride's handler and friend, Casey, I think you would really and truly hate that he uses this voice.
Well, by the way, handler,
I think it would drive you nuts when you realize what the voice could be, and you think, boy, this is a pleasant conversation.
No,
and it would really drive you insane.
God, you're going to hate that sentence in about 10 seconds. By the way, a handler, no, he's the host. I am the leader here. I am the master. He is the blaster. Do you understand? Also, you can hear Casey Day 4 hours a week on Catch 22. God damn it. How do you not know that? Anyway.
Well, go make sure you do that. Go and where can people find that, Hack Ride?
Well, we're plugging early. HackRideTheDemon.com. Thank you so much. How are you doing, Blind Mike? It's so good to see you.
I'm doing good, buddy. It's been a while, and Craig and I have kind of hinted that it seemed like you've been distant lately, but then I hop on, you're the same old hack ride. You seem okay. Are you mad at us for anything?
No, never. But I did realize that there is a great deal of your fans that do not like me. So I do not want to leave a fart around you that smells like demon all the time. Every once in a while I'll come crop dust you. But, it's better from the outside in, outside looking in, as opposed to being on the inside where you're taking my barrage from a bunch of people you don't know or care about. So,
but there are also people that love Hack Ride. There are people that hate Craig. There are people that hate me, for God's sake. If you can.
Well, they're monsters. Anyone that hates Craig, he beat the charges. Craigers beat the charges. Did not do anything with those children.
Yeah, what do you think Craig's doing right now?
I imagine him alone in the basement of his parents or in a one-bedroom apartment.
Trying to make it seem like he knows anyone that's a mother. Like he would have anything to do on Mother's Day.
Swiping
what
right.
What's he doing right now?
He's swiping right furiously on Tinder. Oh, looking for that new mother. Yes, it's Mother's Day. Craig's looking for a new mother. Hey-o.
Yes. we miss Craig. But go support Hack Ride. HackRideTheDemon.com. Go support everything that he and Electra are doing. And it's sad. Gearbox is over. But did you ever think of retooling Gearbox? Because as I said on the show, I don't think it ever needed to be 3 hours. That felt like a lot.
No, so we can make, me and Electra learned, we can make anything interesting for 3 hours. Anything. We can literally put a lemon rotting on a table and talk about it for 3 hours. That's our gift.
I worry by talking about me, you were coming dangerously close to doing that. That's essentially what you were doing. Going through the history of Blind Mike is not vast enough to do 3 hours a week, I don't think.
It actually is. And we could keep doing the show. That is not the problem. The problem is this. I am addicted to American football. Oh my God. And I cannot just get locked into a thing that takes my entire Sunday away because we work on it from the moment you stop to the moment we go on. That's how much we care about our shit. And so it just takes away a whole day where, we offered this to the fans, the gearheads. This is a way to have fun. And if the support was there, we'd keep doing it because it'd be worth our time. Now, we have other ideas. This is what we have to balance out. And so, and by the way, can I announce one of our ideas?
Please.
Right now? All right. So replacing Gearbox on Sunday nights. Gamebox. Yes. We're going to do games. I've been talking about it for a year. I've told every other creator, do games. We need a place where everyone can come together, do games. Imagine if I could get you and Stutjo to do Pictionary against each other. We need a place like this on the internet where we can come and have fun. Yes, and I can grab them from all over the place because I'm not in the Dabbleverse anymore. I'm everywhere. So I got people everywhere, and we could just have fun games, playing games, and making a neutral place where we could have satire as the weapon. Anyway,
so when you say games, you don't mean like video games. You mean, Stratego and
the games I steal from Craig. Oh, Craig plays all these games on his Patreon show, and I'm like, I'm gonna steal that.
He's a big Candyland guy. Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna play. No, not Candyland. How dare you? He beat the charges. But yes, we love Gearbox. Gearbox is amazing. The 10 episodes we did are amazing. We can do this anytime. But yes, we did retool it for specials. So
I like that. I actually like that idea better. When there's a special occasion of some kind, maybe a big guest or something crazy happens on the show, then you bring it back. I like that idea. I think that's smart.
Yes. When you see something special happen on the Blind Mike show, know that we will do something that Blind Mike hates, like Norm Macdonald on it. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Yes. Talk shit and make us trash it a week later because we're sad about it.
Sullying the name of a legend.
What are you talking about? I think we do a good job with Norm. We treat it well because we always say his brain is 99% hollowed out. So this is just him working on reflex, and he's still better than Chad Zumakeo.
All right, I understand. So go check out Hackride, HackRideTheDemon.com, all the stuff he's doing. Is that tonight happening? This game business?
No. This is not for a while. We're tooling it now. I am too lazy right now.
All right, keep an eye out for that then. HackRideTheDemon.com, and support this show. If you're watching right now live, then make sure you subscribe and like and comment. All that helps us get more eyes on the show, reach more people in the old YouTube algorithm. Wherever you get podcasts, obviously, all the links are at blindmike.net, so check that out. And subscribe to Patreon and or YouTube. I recommend Patreon in particular because we have a lot of problems like this week's, or I guess next week's Why You Laughing? the history of SNL's Weekend Update, immediately gets blocked. We have to go through a whole thing, so it takes a while to get up for YouTube members. So I recommend Patreon, but if YouTube's easier for you, you can subscribe there as well, and you get bonus content. But either way, trying to get to 1,000 on Patreon. We've been slamming our head against the wall at about 950 for a while, so get us over the hump there. Get to 1,000 on Patreon, and all those links are at blindmike.net. We appreciate you guys, and thanks for supporting the show.
Yeah, speaking of support, we got an early one here from Drew P. Balls, $9.99 super sticker. I don't got to read anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Drew. We appreciate that. Today, there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. I want to talk about a little roast stuff that I haven't had a chance to address yet. I know it's a week old, and a lot of people have covered it, but there's particularly a couple things that I don't think have been discussed enough that we have to get into. So we'll get into that in a bit. But I think we should start with my friend Shane Gillis. You suggested in the intro that I was kissing his ass in some way. I don't understand that. I've been very critical of him in the past. You know,
I said it's your job to kiss his ass like a good little girl. Get in there. Mm.
But I thought this was very funny that Shane was at the center of all this Drake controversy. I don't really know what's happening with Drake. Is he a pedophile? What's happening? Do you know about this?
I do. He is
setting this up.
He is okay. Let's go back a little while to. He's a Canadian rapper who was in a teen show. He was a teen actor. This Drake.
Yeah, I understand.
And he's been banging single mothers across the country. Oh my God! But some of them he likes to bang the daughter. Sometimes he picks. He's like, sometimes it's the mother, sometimes it's the daughter. He's kind
if
of a
everyone's of age, that's all above board, right? What's the harm? Why are people
I grew up in the 90s when this was like commonplace. I don't really understand what's happening in 23 here. But yes, so now he can't be a pop star and do what pop stars have done for the last 60 years. Yes, he can't marry his cousin like Jerry Lee Lewis. No, that's bad now. So then he got into a beef with J. Cole and T-Dot, they call him. I don't know why they call him that, but then J. Cole backed out of it, and then it was just between T-Dot and Drake, and Drake had some things come about his past that were really unsavory, so that's where we are now in the beef.
Okay, so then this clip gets circulating around, and people are like, Shane Gillis knows things. They thought that for some reason in 2018 or whatever this clip is from, that Shane Gillis had some sort of inside information, so this clip was making the rounds last week.
Yes, and buckle up. Everyone's doing AI music, and I enlisted this great singer to introduce our clips today, so here we go.
All right.
Shane Gillis thinks Drake is a pedo. Yes, a pedophile.
Yes, DJ Electrify, we got her. All right. So.
I did not expect her voice to be that terrible.
I will stop it. No, it's amazing.
Good Lord.
All right, this one is called On the Record. This is when Shane Gillis goes on the record.
That reminds me, I do want to say this. I want to be on the record. Drake's going to be, he's on that R. Kelly tip.
You think so?
Drizzy Drake likes him young.
What?
He does. It's somewhat known already, but this is one of those things where I want to, you got to say something. Like, remember Louis, that whole thing?
Yeah.
And like, we knew about that.
Yeah.
And we were just like, I don't know. Drizzy Drake's into the young ones. He's going to get got in the next 5 years. Oh. Unfortunately. Love me some Drizzy Drake, dude.
So people started putting that clip out and saying, Shane Gillis knows that Drake is a pedophile, which is very funny. And it's cool that he's at that level now where people are like digging through his podcast being like, Shane predicted this. Because that's like what they do with Norm, like old Norm, like Norm predicted this years ago and big guys like that. So it's cool that Shane's at that level now. I don't think he had any inside info. And if he did, I don't know if he would blab it on a podcast in 2019 or whatever that is. But it's very funny because Shane's a big Drake fan. I think Drake follows him on Instagram now. They might have some kind of relationship. I'm not really sure. But Shane was very embarrassed.
You got to be a little worried. Shane went to one of them parties and was on camera filming one of those underage girls. I got to say, he's out. It happens with these celebrity types.
That would be great if in a few years Shane has just his Cat Williams moment where he's calling out all the Hollywood pedophiles on Shannon Sharp show.
Definitely happening.
But the reason I wanted to play this clip is I think Shane is the best at handling this stuff. I mean, obviously the way he handled getting canceled is something to be admired. And he did it absolutely the right way. But like, this is what I always say to people when people freak out. Like, there are people that would legitimately have put out like a serious statement about this to try and make sure they could someday have a relationship with Drake and panic. Shane handles it perfectly, I think, on this week's Matt and Shane.
Yes. And then the next one, he was on another show. It's called The Red Scare of Pedophiles is what I called it, because you didn't give me any titles, so I titled these ones. So he's on another show talking about what he just said the day before.
Matt and Shane. Yep.
Yes.
But I want to say on that video, I watched it last night of you calling out Drake for the pedophilia. I love that you open with, I want this on record. You declare that I'm calling it right now, and I will need people to bring this up later on. I saw you when you found out about it. I've never seen someone so ashamed of something they've said. This is the true remorse coming out. For
I think that was the era of him with the Stranger Things lady.
It was the Stranger Things and Euphoria.
Yeah, it was pedophile.
And
Everyone,
I was like, I know it.
it was the red. It was the Red Scare of pedophiles.
Hey, Red Scare of Pedophile.
That's the best part is that he goes, I want this on record. Like, everyone listen to my words. And then it comes back years later, and you're like, well, I didn't mean it seriously. It's very funny.
Is the court stenographer paying attention? Please, get every word of this. All right, this one is called Drake.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So this is him talking about it a little more.
Dude, it's crazy.
I wish that of all the things I've ever gotten in trouble for, or like brought up, that one hurt. Last night, that one hurt. I love Drake. They're like, Drake and Shane are friends, dude. He knows. Like,
I know, that's kind of nuts.
I don't know anything.
We
were just back in our QAnon phase where we were trying to find all the pedophiles.
We're on pedophiles.
He put out Euphoria. He got me hard with high school teens.
His fault.
That was his fault. So
Also-
I called him a pedophile.
It's very funny that somehow Shane is involved in this this scandal now. I really enjoyed it. But like I said, I think he handles it the right way. He fucking laughs about it. He's like, I'm a fucking idiot. And then you move on, you know?
Yes. This. Have you watched any of these pedophile hunters online? This Vitaly. Has this come across your internet feed?
I know about it. You mean like the people that try and do the Chris Hansen thing, basically?
Yeah.
The road? Yeah, I'm aware
They're-
of them.
Yes, they're rogue, and then they dump paint on the person. They play a game, and they shove them into traffic and stun them. It's crazy. It's like
That's where it gets a little nuts, where it's like, you're not the police. Like, you
No.
didn't, there's no way you did a thorough enough job to be certain that this person deserves conviction, you know?
Yes, I saw a clip last night where Vitaly like doused this guy in acid and threw him off the street, and the cop's like, you shouldn't do that. And then they put the cop's picture on like, he supports pedophiles, this cop. And so yes, it's getting crazy out there. Vigilante justice, oh my God.
I gotta say, I like the cop just going, you shouldn't do that, instead of like arresting them.
They come and basically don't arrest the person because the person could say, well, this was entrapment. They threw acid on me. They threw paint on me. So the cops just let him go because they know DAs aren't going to charge anything. So it literally is actually like doing worse to find pedophiles.
It's weird that that's not illegal, right?
Oh,
like you
it's coming.
would think
It's
you would
coming.
think the cops and the FBI don't want just rogue vigilantes.
Well, let me ask
trying
you
to
something.
thwart pedophiles.
Let me ask you something, Mike. As a junior congressman for the Massachusetts, are you going to sponsor the Protect Pedophiles Bill of 2024?
Well, that's
a
a
hard
tough
one to
thing.
That's a hard one to push.
You know, I always have this label put on me because I try and look at things from all angles. But people always hear it as me defending sexual assaulters.
They call that Krager's legislation. He beat the charges, people.
It's Craig's Law. Like, guys, you can't be looking into these people.
Craig's.
Let the proper authorities handle it.
This is a goddamn t-shirt. Craig's Law. All right.
Yeah, but shout out Shane Gillis. I don't think he knew that Drake's a pedophile, but you know what? If he did, good for him putting it out there. You know,
This ball lick.
very smart of him.
He's funny. I'd ball lick him too if I ever met him.
All right.
I'd ball lick you, and you're like 1/100th of him. Goddamn. All right.
If that, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'd say like 1/1000th, but that's still. I mean, yes. You look like a normal human, not like a Downs.
All right.
That's gonna hurt him, I think. We did so good, and then we hurt him right at the end.
Not nice.
Okay. What's next, my friend?
Let's get into this Tom Brady roast because
Oh.
I liked it. I thought it was a great event. I did wonder, I brought this up on KMS the other day, Like oh, well, you're a good person to ask, I guess, Hackride, as someone in California. Does just a random person give a fuck about this? Because it felt like kind of Patriots. It felt like a great night for Patriots fans, but I was like, would someone in fucking Indianapolis give a fuck about this?
No, we were all laughing at that Deflategate joke. Oh, you bastards.
Okay, good. All right, good.
No, I mean, we weren't. every other NFL fandom was like, we told you, cheaters. But when you have 7 or whatever the fuck he has, it's sort of our argument. We know our argument's not that good, so we don't make it.
I did think it was cool, like the idea that none of they've stayed away from like the Aaron Hernandez stuff forever. So it was kind of cool to see them all make jokes about it. Like literally Tom Brady making an Aaron Hernandez joke and a fucking OJ joke and a 9/11 joke. Like that to me as a Patriots fan, when these guys were so stiff for so many years, particularly Belichick, who hates the media and everything, to see them let their hair down, I thought was very cool. But I was like, does anyone in Seattle give a fuck about this?
Well, we kind of looked at it as, whatever. But we saw like, the regressive conservatives that they always are, they don't care if they show anymore. Okay, now we see you. Yeah, but we don't also, old liberals, we don't care. We love everyone. I love Tom Brady. The balls that man has to trophy from one boat to another in the middle of, that is the ballsiest thing that guy ever did. Go back and find that YouTube thing. It is the greatest video I've ever seen from an NFL player.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought Nikki Glaser did great. I thought she crushed, and I'm not even necessarily a Nikki Glaser fan. You know what? Actually, I take that back. I've always enjoyed Nikki Glaser's comedy. It's particularly her music career that I've had an issue with. So I can't say I'm not a fan of hers.
Oh my God, you just gave us something to cover on our show. She has a music career? Oh my God.
Oh, you don't know about this?
Now I do, and it is going to be content for us. Thank you so much.
In the history of the Blind Mike Project, maybe my favorite segment ever is going over Nikki Glaser's tribute song to Bob Saget's death.
Oh, imagine if we had a show that we could do after your show that followed up on all that you cared about.
Do you not know about this,
I don't.
Don't know about this song?
I don't.
Pull it up. This is this is good because type in Nikki Glaser, Bob Saget song.
Is this on YouTube?
Yes, it should be.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay. Usually I have a fry lady, but I'm here by myself. Nikki Glaser song. What was it for Bob Saget?
Throw Bob Saget in there, yeah.
Came right up. That's never a good sign.
Yeah. So, for anyone that doesn't know, this is an interesting, because Hackride's been around for a while, but obviously not the duration of the show. So there's probably a lot of people that didn't hear us talk about this. I think a lot of people, this was kind of a big story at the time. Legion of Skanks did an amazing job covering it. And Kevin Clancy was very mad at me. Kevin Clancy apologized to Nikki Glaser for making fun of her. And I put that clip on Twitter, and he got very mad at me. He said I told on him, which I don't know. He did it into a microphone. But anyways, yeah. So Bob Saget died, tragically, in a hotel room in Florida, I think.
Which often happened.
Smashed his head and died. For some reason, Nikki Glaser put out this song.
This can't be real. What I'm looking at now.
I can't believe you don't know about this.
All right, I might.
So this you definitely have the song, right? Not like a reaction to it.
No, I have the song. There's so many Legion of Skank reactions. I grabbed the song, but I can't get to the keyboard because my dick is so hard. Hold on. There we go.
Okay.
Oh my God. Shit. Okay, here we go. Adding to the screen. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take myself off so we can hear the song and there's no disruption from the 3D. Here we go. A song for Bob this is Nikki Glaser. Oh God. She got this done by LA musicians.
Our last run-in was in Milwaukee. We were cracking jokes.
So, hold on. So this is
what?
Bob Saget just died. Now, like, if John Stamos did this, you'd be like, Jesus Christ. But at least they had a relationship. I guess Nikki Glaser and Bob Saget were friendly, but I don't think he was a father figure to her or anything. Like, I don't know how close they really were. Their last run-in was in Milwaukee. I mean, they were cracking jokes, as you heard. But I don't know how close they were necessarily.
That's where you make your best friends in life, Blind Mike, in Milwaukee. Yes.
This is great.
Different crowds than for ourselves. had known that you would die, what would I change?
It's the lyrics are childlike. If I had known that you would die, what would have changed?
Put a
You could
pillow
say that-
edge.
You could say that about yeah, pad Bob's room.
I would have
Bob,
thrown
watch
you in-
out for corners.
right angles will be the death of you, Bob Saget.
But they're just the most bland lyrics that you could apply to anyone that dies on any day. Like if I knew you'd die, I would have said something different, I guess. But this was put out like days after he died, which is in very poor taste.
Yes, hopefully it was played at the funeral too.
I imagine it was.
Sometimes I speak to the sky. Don't,
She harmonized.
don't hurt the people I love. Don't hurt anyone.
That's a big leap in requests, I gotta say. She looks at the sky and says, "Don't hurt the people I love." On second thought, don't hurt anybody. Which, in a weird way, is its own torture. Like, if everyone lived forever, that would be excruciating.
Yes, and then she went off and had a steak. Because, you know.
It's cruel what she's doing to humanity. No one
Yes.
dies.
Yes. This is, oh my God, this is so LA. This is, there's this little part of LA called Echo Park where every band and musician sounds like this. So she just found one of them and they finger banged her and they're like, let's make a song while you're here, Nikki.
This is wrong to do. Nikki crushed on the roast last week. So I guess this is just, everyone
that's
remember
fine.
this song to bring her back down to earth a little bit. You
No,
can't get
this
too
is a
high.
this is a good lane. People have a good week and you find something terrible they did and we just shit on them. I love it. Here we go.
To ask so much of a stranger. And I'm sorry to ask so much of a ghost.
She's putting Bob Saget to work.
I'm sorry. What did she say? I'm sorry to what of a ghost?
Ask so much. She's like making him clean. She's like, get to work.
So
Time to
never mind,
lean, time to clean.
Bob Saget, who has friends, I believe his sister's still alive, children.
Children, yes.
His children. He left a grieving wife. But in Bob Saget's posthumous years, his ghostly years, he's going to be following Nikki Glaser around and saying, hey,
Yes.
call Tony Hinchcliffe gay at the roast.
Do you think when Nikki Glaser's end of this wonderful life comes to its finality, and she's walking towards the beautiful white light we all see at the end of our lives, do you think she will bypass her parents and run right to Bob Saget? Bob, it's good to see you again.
Finally! I missed you so.
Get
I've been
off me,
screaming
Mom.
to the sky.
Do you know who this is?
The king of fatherhood, someone to trust. When I was down, you brought me up.
There's no way in Nikki Glaser's down moments that she called Bob Saget.
No, I have dated women for years. They won't mention my name. She passes this guy in a comedy club. She wrote a goddamn song. Goddamn.
I'm sure they were friends, but to what degree? How close do you have to be with someone to write a song about them in the days after they died? And what was really like tacky about it at the time was she said that this song was she was releasing an album of some kind. And this song was already in the works, and then when Bob Saget died, she changed the lyrics to make it fit Bob Saget.
Sis, did you know the original name of the song?
No, I don't.
It was called The One Who Wouldn't Fuck Me. And that's why she likes him so much.
I suppose.
Yes, here we go.
Hanging out with you, full of life and beautiful.
You're beautiful. You didn't fuck me.
I remember when you were full of life. That's such a hilarious way to sing about a dead person. when I knew you, you were full of life, and now you're dead.
I remember before you slipped and fell. All right, some jerking off from the musicians here.
This is a lot.
Right now, yeah, she's just snapping her fingers and just putting her hands in the air, touching
She's
him from
feeling
the
it.
sky.
She's got her hands on her headphones. Like,
Yes,
I love Bob so much.
Yeah, she's in that Laurel Canyon spirit right now. She is the Paisley Underground right now.
Cut it out, God.
Why couldn't those corners have been round?
Our last run-in was in Milwaukee. We were cracking up. Two lonely souls, now two old friends.
What? Again, Bob Saget has a family.
And he didn't bang her. She has wrote a song about one guy who in Hollywood who didn't bang her.
Why is Bob Saget a lonely soul? Like he's lived a long, respected career. He's got a family, and she's like, you and me, Bob, lonely and miserable, right?
If she said Cleveland, oh my God! Like, but Milwaukee's about as bad. So, like, poor Bob. I was on TV shows. He's out there hunting something, meeting this weirdo in the middle of nowhere. He's like, "Get away from me!" And she's like, "You won't fuck me. I'll write a song about you." Oh, Bob, I'm so sorry. To Bob's children, we apologize.
Your jokes were dark, your eyes so bright and kind. I guess I knew one day you'd die, but just not when.
No, that is, again, true of everybody. I
She
knew
was counting
one
the
day
days.
you'd die, but just not when.
I had it circled on the calendar, but just not when.
Imagine you run into like an old friend and you have this thought. You're like, I know they're gonna die one day. They're gonna croak, but I wish I had an end date in mind so I could be ready for it.
Yes. And did you know they had another title for this song?
What's that?
It was called Daddy's Issues. Hey-oh.
Sometimes I speak to the sky.
Why did you kill Bob?
If you're so close with him, well, yeah, why do you let him go?
Damn you, God!
Don't hurt anyone.
She is going to be a fascinating hit-the-wall old lady. Oh, I can't wait.
Don't hurt the people I love. Please don't take anyone.
She wants to live in a world with 90 billion people. You can barely get anywhere because people everywhere because no one's dying. Great world,
We're just
Nikki.
running into fucking Thomas Jefferson and like, oh God, this motherfucker. They're just in our way.
This is what happens when you put women.
Oh, you broke up there, Hack.
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. StreamYard's a cunt. Here we go.
Don't hurt anyone. Please don't take anyone.
Especially Bob.
Says the emotional depth of inside with Bo Burnham.
Don't take anyone. Don't take Bob.
Don't take Bob. Hey,
It's too late, Nikki. I've got bad news.
hey.
Don't take Bob.
I really think
Thank
that's
God.
the car.
Thank God Cosby had all these allegations against. I'm trying to think of other America's dads that would break her heart if they died. When Tim Allen dies, it's going to be devastating.
I think the architecture of his house took Bob. More rounded corners in houses, please. Thank you.
It was a hotel, but
Yes, would you like to read some super chats real quick?
oh please.
I mean, I will read them, but you will respond to them. That would have been a great change. All right. $5 from Dang Lizard. Typical demon behavior, pretending that nothing happened just because Kragers beat the charges based on the technicality. That he didn't do anything. That's why we have the legal system.
Yeah, Craig will be spending eternity with you. That is a good point.
Yes, we skin well down there. I'll give him a pain pill before we skin him. I like Craig. And we have, what is this? Frunkus O'Reilly. That's right, $5. I love you, Bob Saget. Yes.
We all love Bob. It was sad that he left, but
Yeah, God's
Nikki-
such a cunt for taking Bob.
why did you do this, God?
You could have really took Nikki, honestly, before that song. Like 5 minutes before that song, have an electrical fuck her to death. That would have been amazing.
She's chastising God, and people are dying every minute. Like, but just this one instance has her smiting God.
I think the headline here is that she doesn't care about babies. She would rather have old people live. That's a weird take, Nikki.
But anyways, that was a long way of saying that Nikki Glaser did fantastic. I thought you crushed at the roast. Stick to comedy, Nikki. It's what you're best at.
Yes, all right. Box eating dad for $1.99. Would you please have Blind Mike say this? Deaf row. Blind Mike, would you please say deaf row?
No, I absolutely won't. I'll never do it.
But he paid $1.99, Blind Mike.
I can't. I've been advised legally not to do it. And I told Box Eating Dad this. No, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, what does Molly Matlin hears perfectly, right?
I don't believe so.
What's her problem?
Why, she's deaf, of course.
All right. And if you had a whole bunch of her lined up, what might that be? Whole bunch of Molly Matlins lined up. What is that?
You're very tricky. I'm not going to do it, though.
It's a deaf line. It's a deaf line. I got him halfway there. Got him halfway there. All right.
All
right, Mike. What is next? We're going to go to the Brady roast, correct?
Yeah, so we were talking about the roast. Like I said, Nikki Glaser did very well. Luckily, she didn't break out into song. And I thought like Schultz did well and Tony Hinchcliffe did well, and it was cool to see them get to like promote their shows and everything. And like it's also cool. Like Tony wrote on a lot of those Comedy Central roasts, so it's nice that he gets to be on camera now. I thought the way they promoted Kill Tony was a little weird, where like they had Dana White come up as a Kill Tony contest. It seemed unnecessary to have Tony be part of that. But as far as like his jokes, he did pretty well.
It was okay. I thought the Affleck thing was the weirdest.
That he just like came out and ranted like, "Why don't you guys like me?" Like I don't even know what he was doing.
That came off more to me like I hate this J-Lo bitch. That's what I got off of that.
When I was listening to Matt and Shane to grab those clips from earlier, Matt McCusker said that Affleck should have come out as Batman. And I was like, actually, I think Ben Affleck's really cool. I don't know why you guys hate him so much.
I think he should have came out with J-Lo from their characters from Jiggly and just gone with it.
Sure, everyone would have got that, I'm sure.
I do have skew humor, Mike. Have you not noticed?
But the one that I thought was very weird was Bert and Tom. I don't get what they were doing. So we can't play this on the show, I guess.
See,
My
I think
intention was to break it down.
So I think we can. Blind Mike is assaulted with the audio here, and he's like, "No, I can't do it."
This isn't Hack Ride's fault. This gives you a taste of what YouTube creators have to get around, I guess, in order to not get their content taken down. This is how we would have to play a clip of the roast in order to keep this video up. So if we were going to talk about it and you guys were going to watch it later, this is essentially the only way we could have played this clip of Bert and Tom from the Brady roast.
Yes, and not regions. This would have blocked the video worldwide. The show would have ended right now.
Yeah,
and
so this is if we didn't do this. So I don't think we're going to play the whole thing, but this is what it would sound like.
No, people, come on, put it in chat. We should keep playing it, right? Because it annoys Mike too. It's amazing. All right. But first, DJ Electrify.
Tom Brady
God damn it.
got roasted. The white man Super Bowl. Robert Kraft was wasted. And Ben Affleck was insufferable.
I would much rather listen to Nikki Glaser.
Tom Brady got roasted and Giselle took a stray. Not from the roast, but from her coach of MMA. Hey!
Hey-o!
All right. Thank you. That seems unnecessary.
That was pretty good. You gotta admit, she took a stray from the coach of MMA. Yeah, that's good writing, DJ Electrify. All right, this is the White Man Super Bowl. People, prepare yourself. This is gonna hurt your ears.
Thank you, Jeff, for turning this special night into one more opportunity to turn down. God, you are such a fucking whore.
Yeah, so this is obviously it's unlisted. We couldn't do this. There's no way.
Oh, I love it. I made it, so I love it.
It just doesn't make any sense to play it like that.
It's what you don't see, Mike, is and there's a giant break in the screen, and then there's a ring of fire and things moving. Because again, this algorithm, God, yes.
Yeah, so unfortunately we can't play it to break it down. Maybe we'll do it on Patreon or something if people give a shit about that at this point.
I think you should break the whole roast down, the entire roast.
Maybe. Yeah, well the problem is they edited some good stuff out, I think. They trimmed it down from the live broadcast, and I believe, I haven't gone back to see if this is true or not, but I've heard that when Tom Brady got up and said to Jeff Ross, "Don't do that shit again," about the Robert Kraft joke, I've heard Netflix cut that out. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, what? I don't think so. They've been using it as a promotion.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's not true then. I heard a bunch of stuff got cut out, and I heard that was one of them. So hopefully I'm wrong.
I think my guess is that they cut some stuff out so that they can release an unedited version later. Because what is like, Netflix has nothing to lose by putting the N words up, the F word.
Sure.
I think they were testing the waters with some of those jokes, and if they go, then they can maybe open it up a little, and maybe comedy's coming back, maybe.
But yeah, I thought all the comics did a good job. Even Kevin Hart, I thought was weird at times. I was like, is he nervous or fucked up or something? Because he was laughing at a lot of his own jokes and seemed like selling things too much. But overall, I thought he did well.
Cat Williams says he's an industry plant. Yeah, he's an industry plant, that one.
He certainly is. The one I thought stuck out like a sore thumb was Bert and Tom. I don't know why they presented together. And it seemed like they had nothing. It was prepared, obviously, because they had a visual element of it. But it seemed like they had never heard of Tom Brady or something. Like they did this weird thing where they compared him to like Hitler and Ted Bundy.
Serial killers. Yeah, it was the whole bit.
I didn't really understand. And Bert had this weird, like, I guess Bert was the straight man or the idiot. I don't know what character he was playing. But like Tom talked and Bert would go like, yes, you're correct. And there were weird moments where Bert had things like written down. He was reading, but all he said was like, yes, that's true. And it's like, you couldn't have just improv that? Why is that written verbatim on the teleprompter? What's happening here? So I thought that was the weird, and I like Bert and Tom. I know a lot of people that watch this don't. I think Tom's like a good stand-up, and I don't get the Bert hate really.
Yeah, Bert's terrible. Tom is amazing.
A lot of people hate Bert Kreischer. I don't really understand it. I think
he's too happy. It's comedy. You're too happy in comedy. Get out of here. We hate our lives. Get out of here.
I think he's a good podcast guest. And I think his stand-up is fine. Like it's not my favorite, but I've never watched it and been like, oh God. There's nothing I thought about making fun of in his stand-up.
Oh, here's why you like Bert. You can't see. Every time he tells a joke with his shirt off, if you watch that for years of this guy's career, you'd have a different opinion of it. I mean, you think the demon's a gimmick. Oh my God. What?
There might be something to that where like there are people I probably find less douchey because I'm not watching the visual cues. Like in theory, you would think a guy that rips his shirt off I would hate, but I don't. You might be right. It could be that I can't see. That doesn't bother me as much.
Imagine if Craig, before his open mic sets, tore his shirt off and put a beer up there and he's like, how my ladies doing? How would you react to that? That's what's going on in front of 2 million people.
We lose viewers when Craig takes his hat off. Never mind his shirt. People are disgusted by him.
Yeah, we love Craigers. Craigers, we love you wherever you are. We hope that someone is swiping right on you right now. Yes.
But yeah, I thought Bert and Tom they were very weird. We would go more in depth, but like you heard, it would be ridiculous to try and do
that. Yes, all my work. Let's just flush that. But we did have Andrew Schultz.
I feel bad for I spent tireless hours on that, and then the second I heard it, I was like, oh, absolutely not. We can't.
No, four versions, 3 got copyright, and that version was the one that finally got through. But whatever. My time. What's time anyway in the grand scale of things?
It was a good effort. It was worth it.
And you gotta say they sucked, and they kind of did suck compared to everyone else. Because I think what happened is they just mailed it in. They're like, hey, on the private plane to wherever this location was, they're like, all right, how about we do this together so we don't have to write individual. All right, high five.
There's some of that. And to Bert's credit, he was on Kimmel this week, and he said, like after they saw Nikki Glaser, that he leaned over to Tom and said, like, oh fuck, we're gonna bomb. So to his credit, now then he went on to say like, but we actually did really good. Thank God we followed Kim Kardashian. I actually thought Kim did better than them, which is not like necessarily a compliment to Kim. Obviously, her delivery's terrible. She's not a funny person. She's just reading someone else's words. But like the content that she went out, like comparing Tom Brady to Caitlyn Jenner, is funnier and more relevant than just being like, he's a white guy, so he's a serial killer. I didn't understand their angle at all. You're right, it felt very lazy. They were just going there to promote Two Bears, the new vodka they have, and cash a check. Well, actually, I don't know if they got paid. It might have been just in promotion, but you could.
Yes, it's like Comedy Central's like, we'll send the plane out. You guys don't got to write anything. We got a room of writers for you. We're going to put you up on a screen. You're just going to read a teleprompter. Come on, come to LA.
But they couldn't pick an angle because they kind of made fun of Netflix, like, oh, Netflix wishes you were a trans biracial swimmer or whatever the fuck. the joke was. But it's like, yeah, but Netflix is also doing this, and they have Chappelle on there, and both of you guys. So, like, what lane are you taking? Like, I didn't really understand it at all.
It felt like Netflix legal department wrote that joke, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is as far as you can make fun of us, right here.
But at least they were there and got to enjoy the experience. That's what
As
I'll
was it.
say.
Yes, as was Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz was there. Oh yeah, let's hear it, because this is kind of where I got the they cut the roast the craft thing out. But yeah, Schultz is talking about the reaction to the Brady craft stuff.
Right. And Tom Brady is the former quarterback of the New England Patriots, and Robert Kraft is the owner of the... if any women are watching or have no idea what we're talking about, sometimes you got to set things up anyway.
Sure, yes.
And they won 7 titles, and now they famously hate each other. It's amazing. Oh, we all love it.
Now, can we play this clip, or do I have to listen to Electra sing again?
That's when you get off.
Okay, good.
When Tom checked Jeff Ross,
Bro.
I think that was 100% real.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
100%.
Like, so Jeff,
I think it got cut from the broadcast.
I'll tell y'all something. Because the reason why I think it's real is because they told us no jokes about happy endings with Bob Kraft. Because I had a Bob Kraft tag.
Oh.
I had that joke about Randy Moss. I was like, Randy Moss, you made sure on Super Bowl Sunday is the only people celebrating a happy ending with a priest.
Oh, yeah.
And then the tag was, and of course, Bob Kraft.
Yeah.
And they were like, Tom asked us not to do anything with the massage show. I was like, all right, cool. Like, the guy's coming here for this thing. Like, whatever. He's not getting roasted. He's sitting in the fucking stands. Like, all right. And then Jeff did it. And then Tom walks up and he goes, yo, cut that shit out. Or don't do that again.
Yeah, don't say that shit again.
Yeah. But think about it. Like, this is the first comic that goes on, a live roast, and it's your night.
Yeah.
He was ready to shut the whole thing down. That's an alpha ass move right there.
Yeah.
Like,
can you imagine if Tom Brady was just like, all right, we're done. Sorry. Just leaves.
It just
They would have done live on Netflix.
spikes the microphone and walks out with Gronk high-fiving. Oh, my God, the pussy he would got that night.
That would have been wild, but it's weird to me. And I was trying to think, like, even though Tom Brady's a massive superstar, probably the biggest celebrity in football history. I mean, other than like OJ or something like that, but like massive celebrity, and has kind of gone out of, like, he's gone beyond a football player. He's a celebrity now. And so for him to, like, you can talk about his wife and his divorce and the guy on the team that was a murderer that killed himself. You can make jokes about all of that. But the one thing you can't make fun of is a guy who's here in the room getting jerked off at a massage parlor. Like, that's weird. That was his one bugaboo.
Yes, because,
and jokes about his kids, I guess, were also off limits.
My guess there is, because I'm, an evil-minded demon, is that Tom Brady knows that Robert Kraft has some pictures of Tom Brady doing some fun stuff in the facility too, maybe,
That's possible, yeah, and my thing was maybe he feels some subservient role to Kraft, even though he's kind of transcended that. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Kraft is like, all right, motherfucker. You wanna make
I think what we've seen is the first blackmail roast, where everyone has blackmail on everyone and they just roast the shit out of each other. But they know if they go too far, we're going to drop this nuclear bomb on everyone and we're just going to walk out of here. We're still all billionaires. Fuck you.
I definitely, other than the Trump roast, I can't think of a roast that billionaires were involved in. So you might be right. But
would you like to see Gronk's reaction to the roast 4 days later, or hear it?
Sure,
would you like to hear?
Sure.
Because it's always good to hear, the tight end's perspective of things that are going on a roast.
Okay,
It's like 4 days later, and I'm still laughing about the roast. One of the greatest nights ever.
Well, time to get over it, Gronk. Jesus.
He blinded a person. He spiked his shot glass and literally the glass blinded a person. They're going to host a show next to you, Blind Mike, and he's happy about it.
Well, it was a fun time.
I've been laughing literally for like 3 hours every day about it.
Can you imagine having enough money to where the lawsuit that you paid out for blinding someone 4 days later, you're still laughing?
I'm glad Gronk had
wow. Great times.
Oh no, we need to
it's
monitor
there's
that
no point
brain.
to that. He's just like, hey guys, I'm still chuckling to myself.
Yes, he's like, the CTE has invaded another lobe.
But yeah, I thought it was a good event. I hope Netflix does more stuff like that. I kind of like the idea that the week of the Netflix is a Joke Festival, there's a lot of live programming. And I was saying, I thought Unfrosted was an abomination. I can't believe our friend Jerry Seinfeld concocted something like that. It was a terrible movie. But it would have been fun, like if. Oh yeah, it was
okay. No.
If Netflix did shit like a movie premiere, instead of dropping it at 3, if you premiered in that way on like a Friday night or something, you know what I mean? Like that would have been. It would have been fun for everyone to live tweet a shitty movie like Unfrosted or a good movie, whatever, you know. But like I like the idea of Netflix doing stuff like that because it makes things more of an event. We've lost that with streaming services and binging and everything. There's not a community of watching things anymore. So I hope Netflix starts doing more stuff like that because I thought it was a fun evening, you know?
Was it better than B movie? That's the real question.
I never saw a B movie. But
what?
I think B movie was for kids, right?
No, well, yes, all animated movies are for kids, Mike, but it had a deep sort of socialistic communist view of the world. It's a very crazy movie.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you got to go back and watch B movie. It's because it's like, imagine throwing Jerry Seinfeld into China. That's that movie because he's like, why is everyone working together? I don't get it. It's
By the way,
very funny.
I don't think I would say like South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut is for kids.
No, I guess that's right. But it is a musical. So it's kind of for housewives a little bit.
But yeah, that's the weird thing about Unfrosted is it was rated PG-13. So they're literally saying like, oh, this is too edgy for young children.
Yes, there's one too many cum on the top of a cupcake jokes, I think.
Oh my God, was it terrible? Where every joke is like, oh my God, we're in the 60s, but we know things that happen in the future. Can you believe that?
I think you got to break that one down on Patreon too. Your whole Patreon should just be breaking down terrible things.
On Netflix that we can't do on YouTube. I would have spent 2 hours just breaking down Unfrosted today, but we can't because of the.
No, you just put the music behind it, like I did for that Brady thing for 2 hours.
Yeah,
you can watch that.
Give it the right context. Yeah.
Yes. All right. What do we got next, Blind Mike? Where are we going next?
Well, I meant to mention that at least we made fun of Bert and Tom. At least they were at the roast. But there's a man who's very jealous he wasn't there for some reason, which is bizarre that he thought he would be. It's pretty crazy. So the Fighter and the Kid podcast the other day, Brendan Schaub is having a great time. He's talking about how fun the roast was. He's like, it was great to see my buddies Tony and Andrew Schultz kill. It was an awesome night. And Callen's being very weird about it and standoffish. And he's like, oh, yeah, I didn't, yeah. Oh, did Tony do good? Nice, okay. He's very aloof. And Brendan, to his credit, he's not necessarily the most observant guy, but he picked up on this and calls him out for it late in the show.
Yes, here we go. And just real quick, because I'm an idiot, let's do some chats, and then we'll set that up again real quick. Okay. We have some super chats. It helps when you have a fry lady. All right, Dang Lizard for $2. She just wanted to come out as pro-life. Yes, I don't know who that is. I think that was
Nikki Glaser.
Yes. Oh, over under 3, Blind Mike. Nikki Glaser abortions. Go.
Under.
All right.
Yeah.
He's locked in at under, Nikki. So I am way over. All right. Here we are. $9.99 from Dennis in East Boston. Sounds like a horrible place. Ugh. Mike, just tuning in, so you may have already discussed, but the Bert Kreischer idiot just laughed hysterically at the roast. Was he high on drugs, or is that a no-shirt bit that all he does? What a buffoon. You just said what I said, Dennis.
It's kind of his thing, I guess, but it did, like, for guys that were doing no work on stage, Tom was still doing the heavy lifting, if that makes sense. Like, they both phoned it in, but for whatever reason, it was like Tom's bit, and Bert was up there to be like, yeah, totally. And you're like, why are they presenting together? Why is it an Abbott and Costello routine? Like, I don't understand why they did it this way.
It would have been better if it was an Abbott and Costello. There would have been some physical humor. That would have been funny. Like, he pushed Tom down or something. There we go. And finally, we have Ding Lizard again for $2. B movie is about a woman who wants to a bee. Yes, it is very sexual in nature. That's why, like, when you said kids movie, I was like, no, that was the other one. That was A Bug's Life. The Seinfeld one was very adult. That's why it had no audience because kids couldn't go watch it. Parents were weirded out. It was pretty amazing.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Jerry gets edgy in B movie. I didn't know that.
No, the world is edgy, and Jerry's like, why is the world so edgy? It's same sort of thing. He reacts to the crazy world. He's not the crazy one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just like a Seinfeld episode. Anyway, back to this weirdo Bryan Callen. Yes, he was despondent.
Yeah, so Bryan Callen's been going through a tough time, and you've seen like D'Elia kind of have the same thing. But I gotta say this: at least with Callen, it seems like Callen didn't do anything wrong. Like, actually, didn't deserve to be canceled. For anyone that doesn't remember, Bryan Callen was accused of rape, and it seems like that just didn't happen. I don't know enough of the facts, but it was a girl he was dating. Like, I don't know. It's very weird, but it seems like Bryan Callen is not a rapist. So his career was just derailed.
Congratulations, Bryan Callen.
His career was derailed for nothing. So I get him being a little bummed out about it. But this was weird because in no world would Bryan Callen have been at this roast. He's not known for roasting. He has no connection to Tom Brady. He's almost 60. It's not like he's bringing in a young viewership necessarily. But Brendan Schaub picked up on a tinge of jealousy coming from Callen anytime they talked about the roast. So this is them hashing that out.
Yes, and I don't usually watch these idiots, but I watched this one, and this is maybe one of the saddest human clips I've ever seen
It's
from two
tough.
people.
You kind of feel for Callen. Like, I want to make fun of him, but you're like, Jesus, man, keep your chin up. It's going to be all right.
Yes.
You're fine.
And Blind Mike, put a few more years behind you, this really starts to hit home. Like, as a 40 or 50-year-old artist or musician or whatever, this is like, oh, God, stop it. But yes.
Yeah, this is a man looking at his life saying, oh, fuck, there's no turning it around. There's
no,
I can't make a U-turn. I'm on the highway, and there's nowhere to reverse course.
The cake is baked on this one, is what he's saying, and he is not happy with the texture or flavor. But also, you're going to have to suffer another DJ Electro song. Here we go.
God damn it.
Welcome to Bryan Callen's Fantasy Land, where Hollywood is hard and jealousy's easy. And Bryan has no time for Brendan's silly steezy. Looking back with Callen, where did I go wrong? Looking back with Callen, what the fuck did I do wrong?
I'll tell you my big issue with this is that we're making fun of these successful men, and people are going to tune into this and be like, "What fucking leg do they have to stand on?"
The leg of satire, and my God, it is steel strong. Blind Mike, have you heard that? That is genius. Goddamn, amazing, DJ Electro. Yes, this one's called.
Us playing those is payback for not playing the whole Bert and Tom thing.
I could have auto-tuned them, but no, we're going to keep those exactly how they are. Low energy is this one. Here we go.
I'm not trying.
You got low energy, huh?
I have low energy.
You suck this podcast.
What do you mean?
This is you. Oh man! And did you watch the Netflix roast? No.
Well,
no. Hold on.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Canelo fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch UFC? No.
No. Well, I spent a lot of time in dreary.
Credit to Schaub, because these guys usually like lift each other up and like kind of ignore the shit that other people would make fun of. Good for Schaub for calling out and being like, "Hey, man, everything I'm talking about, you haven't paid attention to. You don't give a fuck about. Why am I carrying this podcast? Like, do something. Pretend to have an interest in what we're talking about."
Yes, but he comes dangerously close to triggering Bryan Callen by saying, "You suck this podcast," because what could Bryan Callen possibly come back with?
Well, I'll tell you, he might as well have just said, "Well, then why don't I just kill myself, Brendan?" Because this is a suicide note. This is a man in need of help.
Yes, this is a man who's married. Here we go.
Tacoma, and I was writing the whole time. Which means like what I do is I walk back and forth in my Airbnb and daydream and talk to myself. So it's awesome. And then the roast, now I wasn't asked to do it, which is weird.
But you're not a roaster.
Not a roaster.
Well, hold on. Why is that weird? Hey, Bryan, I wasn't asked to do it either. Is that weird?
I was not in the Tom Cruise film, but I'm clearly Tom Cruise. What?
looking at all my
it's
friends.
not weird that Bryan Callen was on no one's mind. Like, if Belichick didn't show up, you know what? They didn't announce Peyton Manning was going to be there. And for a while, I was thinking, that's weird that Peyton Manning isn't there. That's a little weird. A guy in the media that had a rivalry with Brady for so many years, they're so connected. That's weird if Peyton Manning didn't show up. No one was thinking, where the fuck is Bryan Callen? Why isn't he on here?
Seem to have blown up since COVID. And sometimes,
On the roast, you're saying?
yeah, sometimes it's a little difficult for me to watch how outside the mix I am after my entire life of dedication to a craft and to my business. Well, I'm not in Hollywood anymore. That's a little bit.
You're out.
I'm out, and probably will never get back in now. Here, and I won't get back in. And so that's tough sometimes when you're 57 and you've worked hard and you had some success, and then see ya.
Sounds like he should have attached his barnacle to a better boat, Brendan. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough. This is basically him yelling, I got nowhere else to go.
I hear it as, I attach myself to you, Brendan, and my life is over. All these other fuckers attach themselves to good people, solid people.
Yeah, there is some of that where he's.
I was on Children's Hospital.
I'm just stagnant now because all he has is Fighter and the Kid, and he was like a successful actor. You know, like he was in I don't know, some ABC show, the Goldbergs, I think, the one with Jeff Garland.
Yes, he was the high school coach.
Yeah. So
The PE teacher,
you know,
yes.
he was in like The Hangover and Old School. He's been in a bunch of movies. He was on Mad TV. He had a successful acting career.
Then he met Brendan Schaub.
He was always doing stuff, and then he met Brendan Schaub. But remember, Schaub and Callen have this weird thing where The Fighter and the Kid was a massive podcast. Like when podcasts started getting big.
Oh, we're going to hear about that. We're going to hear about that.
And they have this weird thing of like, they're mad at their audience for not still being there. It's strange. I will say this. I give them credit for like having this out on air where like, I kind of respect Callen for just being open and honest and being like, yeah, man, I'm fucking sad. Like my career is not going the way it should be. I do respect that. And I kind of like that he did it and left it in the podcast.
Yes, and you know how it goes. Imagine if you're talking on air, what they're talking about behind the scenes about these career choices. They are both bummed dudes that are still getting some sort of monetary compensation, but it's clearly they're looking at them numbers being like, oh.
And that I get. What I don't get is looking at Tony Hinchcliffe on the roast and being, that should have been me. Like, Hinchcliffe and Andrew Schultz are both 20 years younger than Bryan Callen. Oh, you're breaking up, Hack Red.
Yeah, sorry about that. StreamYard again. Yes.
Hinchcliffe and Schultz are both 20 years younger than Schultz. I don't understand why he thinks he's in the same demographic.
So I'm Bryan Callen, and they're all your age. So I get Bryan Callen. Like you have this like retrospective look on the decisions of your choices as an artist. As you look at these younger people, and he's just like, he is saying, fuck, why did I tie myself to this guy? I could be at that roast right now.
There's some of that, yeah.
But they also veer into Stut Joe territory a little bit of the look back. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's hear it.
And then you're on your own. That's a little bit hard.
It triggers you.
Yeah, well, it just reminds me of some things that have gone bad, and
so would you?
It makes me blood red angry.
So when
not for their success, but
no, of course not.
For the world that you know.
No, definitely not that. This. I'm definitely not mad that they're successful, even though that's entirely what this is about.
Yes. No, you've identified it exactly. So let me throw you off the set real quick.
Oh, does it sound like I'm specifically mad that Schultz and Hinchcliffe were on this roast? Because I am? No, you're wrong. That's way off. How could you even get there?
Yes, even in your CTE-riddled brain, you can figure this out. No, let me shake you off.
Let me just be positive. Hey, let's get positive.
Nope, fake positivity.
You gotta lose.
This is fake.
But when you lose everything and you build it back, then you're probably a fully realized.
Oh, Brendan knows fake positivity. He had to sit through that trolling and smile. He knows what it looks like.
Surrounded by it all the time.
Yes, that's his family.
Human being. And that's part of what a lot of successful people do. And that's what they tell themselves before They blow their fucking brains out.
Oh, Jesus.
He's laughing, but there is, like, I give him credit for just being honest and being like, yeah, when I saw these guys on the roast, I wanted to fucking kill myself.
Hey-o.
Here's what's weird. There's not a world where Bryan Callen would have been on that roast. He was never on Comedy Central roast. He's not a roaster. He has no connection to Tom Brady or anyone on that dais. I don't understand why was that the trigger? Like, I can understand looking at certain podcast numbers, or if you look at the careers of like Mark Normand and Shane Gillis, who are now Rogan's new guys, you know? I can understand Bryan Callen looking at them and being like, fuck, that was me once, man. I was in the Rogan crew. My career was skyrocketing, and now I just kind of have the same. I'm stagnant. I have the same numbers. I can't sell out the Vulcan with the schlub next to me. So I get that. It's just I don't get why he looked at the roast and was like, that should have been me and Gronk up there.
Oh, this is a young man's thought, an old man's thought. I'll tell you what he's thinking. I came up with Tom Segura. I came up with Brett. I came up before Hinchcliffe. I came up before a lot of these people. And here I am with Brendan. And there they are on Netflix. I should be there. Trust me, that is every old man's thought. Eventually we get angry because we didn't get the shot. And he got the shot, and he's like, Joe, I'm going to take one of your guys, and I'm going to skyrocket. He picked the wrong guy. Wrong guy.
That's true. I forgot the Bert and Tom angle. Like, I've tried to block out, even though we just talked about them, I tried to block out that they were there. But if you look at Bert, Schultz, Tom, and Tony, these are Rogan's guys that he elevated. So I guess that's why Callen's looking at it and saying, like,
they opened for me. They opened for me. You know, it's like this.
It should be me and Joey Diaz up there or something.
And that's why I say he slips into Stuttering John territory, because it's like, oh, that should have been mine.
Yeah. That's true.
And so this last clip is called Regrets. I've had a few.
And for a hot second,
well deserved.
A lot of these guys, it's like their
well
time.
Deserved.
So
their time.
Yeah, so it would have happened.
Oh, they sounded ecstatic to say it's their time. That right there is such a tell. Oh yeah, it's your time. It's your time, motherfucker.
Yeah, hey guys, things have never been better than they are right now.
Don't you see these nice red chairs we have? Everything is fucking great.
Take COVID out of it. Eventually it's going to happen. Like
Things are good.
When guys are so talented and good, it's going to happen regardless. It's just some take longer.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's just a little
for
bit
Tony. It's like now it's his time.
Yes.
Like, we had the torch for quite some time.
Yes, my momentum though. My momentum in 2019 was fucking on the.
Daddy was finally
upswing.
red hot.
Well, I was so busy. I had sold a show. I was doing another show. I was on.
Whoa. Let's Bryan Callen definitely success and is still successful. Like that's the thing is, whenever we talk about Chauvin, Callen, and D'Elia, we inevitably get comments from people that just find us through the algorithm that don't know the show at all, and are like, "Oh, you guys are jealous. These guys are successful, and I've never heard of you." The thing is, like, well, then we would just talk about I'd be talking about George Clooney on here. You know, I would just be talking about everyone that's successful. That's not the case. We're just observing things. But yes. Absolutely. Bryan Callen's it goes without saying, a much more successful podcaster than I am. But it's weird to have this revisionist history of like, if it wasn't for getting canceled, in 2019, I was the most famous comedian on the planet. He really thinks he was on the trajectory of Shane Gillis or Andrew Schultz. Like, he thinks he should have been playing the Garden last weekend. And I mean, you guys in the comments refresh my memory. I just don't think that was the case at all. Like, Bryan Callen was a successful comedian. I don't think there was ever like, oh, he's the next arena act.
No, but here's the thing. You have one night at the Laugh Factory where they opened for you and then you killed. That's your memory of them. That's my memory of Tom Segura. He would have walked those people out. I saved him. I killed him. So now that Tom Segura is bigger, this is a hard thing to accept as a creator. Because I came up with a bunch of creators here on YouTube about a year ago. And some have had various success. Some have had a great success. And I look at those people and I'm like, fuck you! We came at the same time! How are you? So it's like what Howard Stern said. You can do radio for 30 years and then the janitor walks in and takes your job. Like, that we are in entertainment. We are not in filing. Like, this actually takes skill that is not on a resume.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a weird case, and the reason I can't relate to it is because I react to things weird, but, like, I'm jealous of people I like. Like, my jealousy is like, fuck, good for him. I wish I had that. It's not like, fuck Tom Segura. You know, like, I just don't react to things in that way. So it's weird to be sitting at home watching the roast, stewing over something that you were never going to get offered. I don't know why this was the trigger for him, but it is. I give him credit because it's obviously been something bubbling up for the last 5 years. And maybe if I listen to The Fighter and the Kid, this is just what they do every week, maybe? I don't know. But it seems like it's finally come to a head where, and you know, we've talked about them canceling a couple of gigs, Fighter and the Kid live shows, because they're just not selling tickets. And they did the whole fake, like, I just remembered my wife's pregnant. Fuck. And she didn't have the baby. She didn't have the baby at the time, but they still had to cancel the show. But yeah, they're doing this weird thing, and it's tough for me to criticize them for this because I did say at that time, guys, just be honest, and that's what they're doing. So I got to give them credit for just saying, like, fuck, man, my career, it feels like it's in the shitter. And what I would say to Bryan Callen is, like, you know, I might not necessarily respect The Fighter and the Kid as a show, but, like, they're successful guys. Try and take solace in that, but it's tough, you know?
We would kill for their failure.
Yeah, yes, that's the thing, is, like, I can make fun of Brendan Schaub all day. If I got the same views that he did, I would love it, you know? Yes. So, yeah, they should try and take some kind of joy in that, but I imagine it's tough when, like, your friends are just blowing past you.
And I'd say, take this as a lesson, Blind Mike, because you are going to grow. And you are gonna. I think you will pass these guys someday.
Well, thank
you. But just remember, when it shrinks back down, don't focus on the big number. Focus on the people who are there, who still love you.
And then I'm like, fucking Electra Fry is at the roast.
Oh, she's gonna be there talking shit about the size of your balls. 100%. All right, let's watch more.
2 TV shows. My problem was I didn't know what to do with for real. I was like, I was going to be on 2 shows.
Yep.
And then one of which was like the most popular show on ABC. And then I remember the last show I did at the Palm Beach Improv, I sold so many tickets. They were going to add another show.
Yeah.
I was selling out in Denver before the wheels hit the tarmac. It was finally that.
Yeah.
And that's
he
all.
said he really led up to that, like, with half a swing. I sold so many tickets, they were going to add another show. It's like, oh, that's pretty common.
They added 10 more chairs.
They put 12 more. They built a new building or something.
They put pillows on the ground. There's going to be people sitting on the ground, Mike.
I sold so many fucking tickets you couldn't get your mind around it. Now we're getting into a little stuttering John, where it's like, and they were all chanting my name.
But it's also the TikTok. He's like, I was on the plane. I was in seat 2A when like the text came in, and they're like, it's selling out, baby. He's like taking us to the moment. That is Stunt Joe. Stunt Joe's taking us in, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit. And then COVID and not being able to do the podcast, a lot of stuff like that. So, you know, a lot of things go on in life. And
all right, so this next one's called a hot. This next one's called a hot fucking second because he says it like 10 times.
Oh, okay.
They owned the world, Blind Mike, for a hot second.
Yeah, this is again where it's like it was a huge podcast, and it's still, again, comparatively to like ours or whatever, it's still a big podcast.
You got 220 in chat right now, Mike. You're a huge podcast, baby.
Try and do that, Callen, you prick.
7,000 in their chat. I hate this. We suck.
But yeah, this is a little revisionist history where he's like, we were the Beatles, baby. we couldn't walk down the street without girls ripping their tops off. We had it all.
All right, it's not Joe. It's Jackie Martling. This is Jackie Martling. Okay. we were the Beatles.
Yeah, because there's nothing we can do. Like, look, this is the situation.
It's fine.
We ran with the torch for a hot fucking second.
We did have the torch for a hot second.
Yeah, 10 years, dude.
10 years of fucking...
How many podcasts are out there now?
Hey, at least we get a lot of thanks. A little fucking respect for your elders, you fucks.
Wow, yeah, there's such bitterness here. So, I think, and this is, believe me, I understand I'm reading into it, but I think in his mind, what should have happened is Tony Hinchcliffe gets on the stage and goes, Tom, we'll get to you in a second. First, I want to thank Bryan Callen for being a trailblazer in podcasting.
The entire Callen family, really.
Yeah, I think in his mind, everyone should have stopped the evening to be like, he couldn't be here tonight, but how much do we all love Bryan Callen? And then the LA Forum erupts. Yes! Callen! Callen!
We're here to celebrate a man with 1 billion Super Bowl rings, but first, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge a actor on Children's Hospital.
The real man of the hour. The guy who did the funny accent in The Hangover.
It's just the lay of the land, bud.
It's the lay of the land. It's the lay of the land. It's all good. And I think if I really apply myself,
it's not all good.
By the time I'm 60, I'm going to blow the fuck up again.
I mean, like, he's being tongue-in-cheek there, I'll give him credit, but there is such a bitterness there where, like, I guess he thinks that those guys, and listen, I don't know enough about their relationship. I wasn't there to watch how close him and Bert or Tom or Tony or any of them were. But, like, in his mind, these guys should be blowing him and thanking him for blazing the trail of podcasting,
Absolutely. I mean, I can't believe anyone watched that shit or still does, but they definitely are going in the podcasting Hall of Fame. I mean, if there is such a thing.
Sure. I mean, they were big for a while. And, like, to this day, like I said, we get comments from people that are their defenders out there. They just come in like, oh, you guys are jealous, whatever. So, like, they have their fans. I don't really understand who they are at this point, but, like, credit to them. They have their audience. They're just not comfortable with what that is because it used to be bigger.
So we've totally abandoned the being a Brendan Schaub fan thing. So we're not wearing the hats anymore. We're not his fans anymore. You've gotten off that train.
No, I'm a fan of Hey, credit to Brendan Schaub for bringing this up, I think Brendan Schaub's a great guy.
He walked that very narrow line of saying to someone else, you suck, because, oh my God, what could come back at him? Who knows?
Yeah. But it is, like, that's got to be difficult when a guy, like, Brendan's throwing out these topics and Callen's like, yeah, the roast. They were missing someone up there, don't you think, Brendan? It's like, no, I didn't notice anyone. Why? What are you talking about?
Literally every famous person was at that roast. So, yes, no one was missing.
Well, you know what's funny is, like, a guy who should have been more bitter about it is Dave Portnoy. He's like, Portnoy was shocked he wasn't invited, which that's a real thing. Like, there's a connection with him and the Patriots, and there were Barstool people there that they show, like, the camera panned to, like, Feidelberg and Brianna Chicken Fry and some of those people. Like, so it is kind of weird that, like, Portnoy wasn't there. But I don't understand. Callen thinks he's got the same connection for some reason. Like, he should have been there, which is weird.
Yes, Portnoy couldn't go because the second he shows up anywhere on camera, then you copyright. Netflix wouldn't have been able to play it. Barstool would have copyright strike the Netflix roast because
You're
of
very
Portnoy.
bitter about that.
Oh, fuck you, Dave Portnoy. Come on, you're a content creator, really, underneath it all. Let it.
I don't. Oh, you're breaking up. Good timing.
Your content.
That ride's gone. All
right.
All right. Moving on.
No, I'm here. Little reset. Yes, no, StreamYard does this thing now. It resets like every half an hour. So we're moving to another platform, but I didn't want to do that because we're just starting it out. So I didn't want to do that to you this week. So we're just going with the old shitty reliable, we call it the Brendan Schaub. And
Where are we going? Yes. Where are we going next, buddy?
Well, first I want to say, super chat, you poors. Also, thank you to Obnoxious John. He sent all his chat over here. So we just got like 100 viewers from Obnoxious John. Yeah, he's a good man, a friend of the potato, a friend of mine.
I don't know if I've ever interacted with him. Have I?
You may have been on like a Dabble Point or one of these shows with him, but yeah. I would highly recommend Obnoxious John if you ever want to cover some Stut Joe stuff here. He's fun. He's great.
Yeah. Well, go check. For those of you that weren't in Obnoxious John's chat, go check him out and subscribe. That's very nice of him. Thank you, sir.
Yes, and go check out Tukey and go check out Cardiff. Yeah, keep the characters alive.
Of course.
Yes. We need support. Oh, people.
I was thinking of asking Cardiff to come on in the near future. We miss him here.
Yes, Cardiff is always awesome, and yes, definitely get the spud back with the dud. Hey, that's a little joke there. You're not a dud. I love you, Blind Mike. I just was looking for a word that rhymed with spud.
All right, what do we got?
All right. Well, you tell me what you got. There's this new performer who's dating trans, whose name is not Jim Norton. Is that something you'd like to cover?
Sure, we can talk about this real quick. Ian Fidance got in trouble last week. Not real trouble. It's interesting. So Matt Rife said this week that there was an article written about Matt Rife where basically he was like, when you get canceled, nothing happens. Which I understand his point, and I totally get where he's coming from. I worry when I hear people say stuff like that, because you're not taking into account there are things that happen, particularly if you're not the level of Matt Rife, or even look at, like, apparently Matt Rife's ticket sales are down now because people called him a fucking sexist, and that's a label that he has to live with. Listen to what Bryan Callen just went through, you know? It might not be direct, but in 5 years, you could be weeping into the arms of a former UFC fighter, crying that you're not at a Netflix event, you know? So, like, things happen. But Ian Fidance got some shit for a joke. Now, I watched Ian Fidance's special, and I didn't really talk about it because, like, I like Ian on podcasts. His stand-up isn't totally for me. It's very high energy. I, generally speaking, like lower energy guys. So that's just my own personal taste. You didn't hear me...
Clip that, by the way. Clip that.
You didn't hear me rant about it because I'm not a child. So I didn't have to cry about it on the internet. But Ian Fidance told a joke, and he put a clip out to promote his special. And let's play the clip first, just to know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, you're going to have to sit through another Alexa song. Here we go.
Oh, come on. Jesus.
Ian. And his last name, it's pronounced Fidance. Ian Fidance. Dating trans. Ian Fidance. Now they call him trash. Yeah. Ian Fidance. Learn to dance, get it on, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Electra, both with the work that she put in and by not showing up, has incredibly hindered this program today.
No, it's amazing. What are you talking about?
I date trans women because I'm from the future, okay? Yeah, I like my women like I like my undershirts, tucked. And, dating trans women, it's helped me evolve. It's helped me learn. I was with this gal, and she was using different terms for things that I had never really heard of or thought of before. We're back at my apartment, and we're making love, you know, from behind, doggy love, and and she goes, yeah, fuck my pussy, and I was like, oh, that's fun. She calls her ass a pussy. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm fucking your pussy, you know? And then she was like, yeah, suck my girl dick. And I was like, that's a bit of an oxymoron, but who am I? You know? And then she said one that came really out of left field. She goes, yeah, lick my clit. And I was like, well, now I'm fucking confused, lady. And then I was like, oh my God, trans women are women, because I can't find the clit on them either.
That's funny. That's a perfectly fine joke. I like it. And then,
what do you like about it, Blind Mike?
I thought it was funny. But then people lost their minds on Ian and were like going after him on Twitter. It's crazy. Now,
everyone from all sides.
Here's where Matt Rife is correct. Nothing happened to Ian. He didn't lose any jobs or gigs or anything. Like, ultimately, he was fine. But where like cancel culture still does and has always existed is like, now if you Google Ian Fidance, this shit's going to come up. And there's a thing where we don't know what that stuff costs him. So I think it's very childish of people to have meltdowns online when you didn't like a joke. So this is Ian talking about what he dealt with, the backlash from that joke, which to me, like, I think it's cool and very progressive that we're in a place now where, like, trans people are just part of the discussion. Like, Ian Fidance is in a circle of comedy. Like, we'll hear him on Louis J. Gomez's podcast here, the Real Ass Podcast. And fans of that podcast have been labeled as, like, Nazis and homophobic and sexist and all this kind of stuff. Well, that's the audience that Ian's talking to. And you hear everyone there laughing. and enjoying the show. And that's the same with like Jim Norton. Is this classically homophobic audience got behind Jim Norton and supported him for all those years with all the content that he was putting out and the subjects that he was talking about. So the people that are being labeled like this are the ones that aren't hateful, and the ones that are supposedly progressive are the ones going after Ian Fidance here.
Yes, and a little thing about comedy is that comedy finds market inefficiencies, right? If there's a part of the society that's not being talked about, comedy will eventually find it. And Ian Fidance goes, hey, no one's talking about being like a straight guy banging trans girls.
Right.
Boom, that's my lane. Boom, I got it, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
All right, here we go. And this is the reaction on Gas Digital.
Yeah, Dougie, what happened? You posted this very trans-friendly clip.
That's what I'm saying.
Extremely trans-friendly. You're talking about making love to a trans woman, using the pronouns. You do what you're supposed to do in a joke, which is use colorful language and funny words, and it's so inclusive.
Yes.
You're not saying fuck these freaks. You're saying I date transgendered women, and
he's saying I date these freaks.
At that point, I feel like once you say that, you go like, all right, now you're including them. This is what everyone wants, right? They want to be included. You don't want people to fucking act like you don't exist.
Yeah.
Isn't that the opposite thing?
Bro, first of all, in real life, the joke is people love it. On Instagram, I'm getting all this like, this is how you make a trans joke. This is great, papa. And then on Twitter, I am getting death threats and like, it's the joke hinges on the fact that it's weird to deal with new phrases, but you roll with it because you're not an asshole. And so it's my experience of hearing these things and going, okay, all right. And then I'm the butt of the joke. The final punchline is trans women are women because I can't find the clit on them either.
Yeah.
And all these people are like, this loser can't find the clit. He can't please a woman. And it's like...
And also trans clits are fucking just massive bulbous cocks. So they're pretty easy to find.
I know. You can see them from space in some of these. You know? And it's like, the reason I kept going back and forth with them is because it was so infuriating to have this thing, like my whole specials about me and navigating the world is like a weirdo and trying to make it
you're
work.
A little freaky, you're a little creepy gay.
Yeah, I'm not creepy. I'm a pervert for sure, but I'm not a creep.
I guess creepy has more negative connotations.
Thank you.
I consider myself a creep.
So do a lot of people.
So but that's what I find interesting is like, maybe Ian didn't lose anything for this and you didn't ruin his life by coming at him. But there is like a culture now where it's still the knee-jerk reaction is like, let's ruin this guy's day or his week or whatever. Like, let's fuck with this guy until he feels like he has to apologize or bow down to us or something. So I like that Ian was going back and forth with them. And yeah, as Matt Rife said, like, nothing happened. But I do think, like, we're in a good place in comedy now. As the roast showed, like, on the Tom Brady roast, they basically just got up and had athletes call Tom gay for 2 hours, you know? Like, that's what a lot of it was. So I think joking about stuff like that is back. But, like, it's a fine line that comedy is walking right now, where a lot of these guys that do tell edgy jokes are getting massively successful and reaching new audiences. And what's weird about Ian Fidance is like he seems like a comic that should be for progressive, open-minded people. He's a guy who's talking about having sex and being attracted to trans women, and yet they're going, oh, fuck you, you're not progressive enough for us. It's a weird reaction to have, and that's what I worry as like comedy seems to be getting bigger just as an art form and becoming more mainstream is like, are you going to have more and more reactions like that over the next few years? We're swinging back in one direction, and I worry we're already starting to drift away from that, you know?
We've become two societies, I think, at this point. One who can take a joke, one who can't. Period.
Yeah, that's a good point, where it is like, it just depends what circle you walk in, I guess. Like if Ian Fidance was trying to get on, Colbert or something, the reaction might have been different. But I do think people who like Louis is a perfect example of that. Louis J. Gomez is a guy that labels his podcast as offensive. He runs a festival called Skankfest. Like, there's no misunderstanding who he is. And that's why when I see like Bert and Tom on social media becoming these self-help guys, it's like, oh, that's dangerous territory because now you're saying to just people that don't get your comedy, hey, come over here and see what I'm doing, you know?
Yes. Oh, and you totally reminded me. Do you know the one area of the Tom Brady roast that Tom Brady said they could not make jokes of?
Kraft and his kids.
The Kraft one was like sort of in the air. No one said it, but Tom Brady specifically said, "Don't make fun of me kissing my kids."
Yes. Yeah.
Can you imagine the jokes that could have gone on right there? Oh my God.
I know. Yeah. Which I get that. My point was like, Tom might genuinely be watching out for his kids. Like,
no, he is. He's a good dude.
Even though the joke the joke is at the expense of Tom Brady. It's making fun of him for being a weird dad. But then his kid is involved and has to like respond. His friends are going to make jokes like that now. You know, it's a whole thing. So
how is that guy so normal for being like the greatest athlete ever? I got to say, from the West Coast,
I don't know how normal he is. He's pretty. If you look into like the Alex Guerrero stuff, he's an odd dude, and I think that's what he was trying to dispel with that roast because he's getting into broadcasting. I think he was basically trying to say like, hey, I'm not, you know all the old the Himalayan pink salt shit, like his diet and all that stuff. I think he's trying to shed that. Like there was a while where it seemed like Tom Brady was in a cult with all the TB12 stuff. And I think the roast is him being like, hey, I'm a normal guy. When you watch me on Fox next year, just remember I'm a regular guy, you know?
TB12 works, baby. Have you seen that man do a 40 in his 40s? Oh my God.
That's true. It's a good point.
He's a marvel of science. All right, here we go. This one's called Autistic Dudes in Dresses.
Some just really grinds my gears about not being understood. And I guess because I get so much shit from straight people about being gay for being with trans women. And then to get told that I'm like evil for even talking about dating trans women from these fucking people. And they're not even real
And
trans
can I tell you
women.
here's the thing.
They're fucking
Ian,
autistic
your
dudes
problem-
in dresses.
Your problem is
what?
This is the truth, and because you are a real comic, you're
Are
very.
you saying you're damned if they're dudes, damned if they don't?
Who is that fat guy? He's pretty funny.
Zach Amico. Zach Amico is one of the great podcast snipers ever. Like I would say him and Jim Norton are pretty much in that elite category. But yeah, I just thought it was very interesting to hear Ian talk about like, I'm a weird guy. I have weird like sexual proclivities that for a long time were just completely shit upon. And I found my lane. I found a group of people that are interested in hearing me talk about it. His special is called Wild, Happy, and Free. Like it's him. It's kind of his, coming out party is probably the wrong phrase, but you know what I mean? Like it's him being open and honest about who he is. And there's a group of people online that are just like, fuck you. You're not doing it right now.
Yeah.
And it's the group that like he thought for sure he would be accepted by. And they're like, no, go fuck yourself. You know, you tried to be too individualistic and you don't line up with exactly what we are. It's the danger of people like, we talk about that Daniel Alexander, Woke Dad, that we talk about on WATS Thursdays at 6, folks. If you haven't checked that out yet, make sure you do. But it's the danger of people like that where it's like, oh, if someone is not to the teeth how you want them to be as a person, you will just turn your back on them and berate them and, try to ruin them in a weird way. So that's where I think like the remnants of cancel culture still does exist. But I do find the Matt Rife argument interesting because we played, I think one of the times you were on recently, Hack Ride, we played Daniel Tosh talking about it. I forget, there was someone else. Oh, Tony Hinchcliffe talked about it, where people are saying like basically cancel culture doesn't exist or whatever. And I totally understand their point, but there is an element of our society that wants to jump on people and do whatever is in their power to shame them or ruin them in some way. And that's the aspect that I still think is wrong. And I thought it was interesting to hear Ian talk about dealing with that because it wasn't a major event in his life. And, in a year, he might have already forgotten about it. But it is interesting that there's a group of people that are just like, fuck you. You're not allowed to be one of us. Like, that to me is very interesting.
Yes. Although with the mustache, he is clearly one of them.
Sure, yeah.
This one's called pandering.
In real life, these people are coming to shows and they go, hey, thanks for including us and not making us feel like we're like handicapped and like these like weird untouchable whatevers, and I'm like, yeah, of course. Now get away from me, freak. But I'm obviously
and then the other
kidding.
problem is you're like the problem with you and your ilk, right? So then they take that because you wrote that and you were talking about idiots.
That's,
That's
what I say when I see these women. I go, ugh.
So
I was not even talking about trans people. I was talking about
that's
people
what he means.
that don't get jokes.
Jane, you're trying to pander.
I know.
to
I'm not
these
trying to pander.
people
I'm not
that-
pandering.
Well,
I'm not fucking pandering.
Well,
Take
can
that
I,
back.
Can oh, you're not pandering. But I did retweet a couple like people just because they were somewhat on your side, but they were.
I was drowning.
It was a person. They'd be like, you know what? He's not that funny, but I understand why he was trying to be funny.
And I could not have hit the retweet fast enough. I was like, oh, thank God, somebody coming to save me. Oh my God.
I think that's the other element of it too, and I think that's kind of what Matt Rife was talking about, where like it feels like in Ian Finance's world he was drowning. Go ask anyone in your lives about this, particularly if they don't follow stand-up. Like they don't even know it exists. They don't know who Ian Finance is. They don't know that this happened on Twitter. It's nothing to most people, and that's the mindset you kind of have to keep. Is like if 400 people today get in my comments and try to ruin me, it will feel like my life is over. I'll be like, oh fuck. But then you have to take a step outside and be like, oh, that doesn't even exist really. Like none of that's happening. So I think that's Matt Rife's argument among other people, where it's like, if you're able to separate yourself from the internet for a minute, you realize it's kind of all bullshit. And I think that's a healthy place we're at in society, where it's like, it's kind of the way, 100 years ago, they would smoke cigarettes in a doctor's office. And 20 years ago, we were smoking them in restaurants and on airplanes and shit. You just learn things about certain vices and how dangerous they are. And it seems like society is finally learning that about social media. Bryan Callen, not so much. He's suicidal. But the rest of us are learning that social media and what you're watching on a lot of these like streaming services and everything, once you step aside from it, it doesn't even really exist. That's
and it's only cost us one generation of kids. They'll get over it.
Yeah, they'll be fine. And the next generation will be better for it, I think.
Yes. And here's the other thing. I had never heard of this man before until this. So take me as an example of the human and American populace.
I think you would like Ian. Like I said, his stand-up, I like him better on podcasts. His stand-up, maybe I should give it another chance. But it was just too manic for me.
Yes,
I think you would like Ian Fidance, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like a guy that finds market inefficiencies. That's where comedy exists. And so Jim Norton finally understood that. They're like, hey, there's all these. I can't wait for the herpes comedian. I think Kevin Brennan is it. But think about that. Think about the things that are still ridiculed in our society. That's a lane. Go find it and just be like, hey, I'm the guy. I'm that guy. I like chubby, transsexual, dog people. Why not?
Well, I'll tell you, Elaine, a market that is really cornered by one guy. And can you imagine having an Asian mother? Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you imagine having a mother with a wacky accent? And that's exactly what Dat Phan has done, my friends. So we have a couple Dat Phan clips that we're going to get to, right?
Oh, absolutely. He is the master of Vietnamese comedy. That's what I always say.
He certainly is. But he does these open mics. And we've talked about it more on WATS, I would say, but we've definitely played some clips here as well. Dat Phan does these like open mics that I think are from his house, but also on Zoom, and his wife is involved, and he doesn't make it very easy to find them, yet he posts the clips on TikTok. By the way, he's been teasing this podcast. I can't find hide nor hair of it. I have no idea. I have no idea where it is. The podcast he's been promoting for a month now.
It's in a Discord chat for like 9 people. You can't VIP only.
I guess, yeah. But let's check out his stand-up here.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
Oh, why? What was the purpose of this?
Oh, Dat Phan.
Exactly what it's doing.
All sorts of terrible comedy. Dat Phan. Make Ray DeVito look like Bill Cosby. Dad. Where the joke's at. Dad. Where the joke's at.
Okay, this would be Murphy, you guys.
It bothers me to imagine Elektra in her house doing that, by the way. Sorry, start over. Go back a little bit.
Start over. Okay. No, okay. Here we go.
No. Just that.
Where the joke's at, Dad. Where the joke's at.
Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull the Eddie Murphy, you guys, and put on white makeup and hang out with white people. Just how weird would we look? Jamie Black, J. Cole, me, this guy here, her. Okay, she's passable. But like the other, this, we just look like four freaks walking around with white makeup. Are those mimes? What the are those? That was okay. Nobody sees anything wrong with this.
Okay, hold on. Whoa, Dad, easy. First of all, he's putting up a clip of him bombing. For those of you that are a little confused, his premise is, first of all, he's basically talking about the movie White Chicks. Like, this happened. Also, the Eddie Murphy sketch that he mentions. Like, so I don't know. It's not even an original premise that he's talking about. But he's saying, what if we put on white makeup and walked around? Which, again, I don't, like, for Asian people, I don't know if it's the skin tone that makes them stand out. Like, their skin tone is somewhat similar for the most part, you know? I don't know if white makeup would be like, oh my God, that's a white man. I don't get what he's going for here, but it's bombing, and then he puts it up on social media. He's like, guys, can you imagine if we put on white makeup and walked around the city? And everyone is like, no, I can't imagine it.
Also, he names everyone in the room. He names everyone in the room, which is amazing.
Hey, Jeff, what if you had white makeup on? He's like, yeah,
Yes.
I can see it.
Claire, Roger, Danny, come on, everyone laugh at this.
That was okay. Nobody sees anything wrong with this. I came up, I was like, "Hey, you guys, I'm T. You guys, I lived in a Prius for a while," and these guys are like, "Look at this poor little Korean monkey telling us jokes." Let's go back to playing tennis, Chris. I'm Dat Phan, guys. Enjoy your break. Thanks so much.
That was the closer.
Are the Korean people, you live in California, yes?
I do, yes.
Are the Korean people remarkably oppressed in California? Because that's where Dat Phan lives. And he talks about the way, I remember when we saw him in Havre de Grace, he talks about people like there are still like coloreds need not apply signs on the windows. Like, I don't know what society he's living in. He's like, oh, you guys must see a Korean guy up here and be like, how did he get in the door? It's like, no.
Medium house price in Koreatown, Los Angeles, $1.45 million. Okay, all right.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're accepted, Dat. Let's all move on.
It's one of the oldest neighborhoods with some of the biggest houses. So yes, all right.
Katie Sullivan, hilarious comic.
This is what?
The algorithm makes me sad. They think I need to look better. All it is also, like, you're getting old and you look ugly. Like, this is a $500 thing that can improve that. I'm excited to bring up our next comedian. Give it up for Jack.
Yes, was that the algorithm that said that, or was that your Vietnamese husband? Because that sounded an awful lot like something your husband would say.
Jesus Christ. Why leave that in? This is, again, his social media clip.
My wife's ugly. I'm going to leave that in.
Like, my wife seems clinically depressed, and there's no punchline. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Dat Phan.
She's nervous to even breathe. Let's put that in there.
Jesus, this poor thing. What kind of life is she leading?
Fan.
This is a hell of a show. I almost tripped over the trash can over here. We're all just one step away from hell tonight.
It's a stream of consciousness.
I think I'll be fine. Oh, I almost ate it and just potato chips all over the floor. I realize what it is tonight. It's like a lot of very funny comedians and pros, but the audience sucks. Let's get that round of applause, you guys, huh?
This is always Dat's angle, and now he's putting it on social media. He's like, you know what the problem is? Like, I'm crushing. I am fucking annihilating. I'm Dice at MSG. People are chanting the punchlines with me. But it's the audience that sucks.
Yes. You just don't get it, guys. Come on.
Like that, I don't know, you've been doing the same material for 20 years. I would think you've had honed in at this point and know how to kill. If you've been doing all the same horse shit, do your wacky mother's voice, you know? That always crushes. it's weird that he's doing this, and it's also he leaves the part with the wife in where she seems suicidal and wants to just off herself. She's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking ugly. Here's Dat Phan." You would think it ties into his act in some way. Like, why leave that in?
No reason at all. There's my ugly wife. Now me.
I tripped over a trash can. The audience sucks, and we're all great.
And have I mentioned my mother? Here we go.
Whole crowd. We're like, oh, that's a very interesting joke. It's like a stare down, right? Like the last time I heard the silence was we were held back in Vietnam during the fall of Saigon. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. They laughed
there
the
it
fall of
is.
Saigon.
Oh, I'm kidding, he says. Oh, we didn't.
Oh.
We literally have no evidence of that.
Yes.
But
If comedy
here's
wasn't on the background there, we would have no idea what just happened right there.
This is what makes Dat so hateable, is that he's like, oh, you guys are all looking at me like, yes, that's a very interesting joke, instead of laughing. It's like, hey, Dat, maybe if you're getting blank stares, no one finds it interesting. And people are exhausted by you doing the same hack material that you've been doing for 20 years. Your wife just held a knife to her neck, and you're not addressing it for some reason.
This is that market of inefficiency I was talking about. He's a comedian who's like, what if you go to a comedy show and tell jokes no one laughs at? This is my lane.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you guys are so fascinated by my material. And everyone's like, not really. That's why we're giving you the blank stares you're talking about.
Yes, and that is why we can see none of the crowd, and it is only a 9:16 aspect ratio on you and your wife's face, because we don't want to see who's in this crowd.
That's the other thing. He's like, we're all kidding. The audience sucks. No, the audience doesn't exist, Dad. It's you and the other open mic comedians there.
Exactly. That's why they cheer, because they're like, yeah, the audience, all the audience that isn't here sucks for all of us. Yes, so this is a universal shitty comedian feeling.
Was that it for Dat?
Dat Phan.
Keep it going. I'm starting the clock.
Yeah, keep it going. Keep it going.
His wife is dancing right now.
I love libraries. I went to go visit my wife. She used to work at the library, but we lived over there. She was a librarian over there, so I would go visit her at work. And I'm like, oh, this is like a nice chill room. The employees kept checking on me, and I went to Katie. I was like, why did they keep checking on me? He was like, because you're sitting in the teenage section.
Now, for those of you that don't quite understand, Dat's going for like, oh my God, they all think I'm a pedophile. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to a library. There's a young adult section of books, but there's not a section that only teenagers are allowed to sit in. The library does not age discriminate, like, Koreans over here and 15-year-olds over here. Like, I think you could sit at any of the tables in a library.
Yes, this isn't prison, right? There's no designated seating areas.
Dad has... I don't think he leads a very interesting life, and he's not capable of making uninteresting things funny, or seemingly uninteresting things funny. So he just, makes shit up, like, oh, they all thought I was a pedophile. Isn't that crazy? No.
Yeah. He was like, I was sitting in the young adult section, and there was a drag queen thing going on next door. They came to me and were like, why are you here?
Yeah, right, like... First of all, just your wife works at the library, so you would go there and sit down?
Good catch. Oh, yeah. Good catch, Blind Mike. I was doing nothing, so I came and hung out in a library with my wife. Ugh.
Yeah. No, I go to my girlfriend's office a lot, and they're like, what are you doing here? They're like, this is the teenage section. I'm like, oh, I guess I don't belong here then, only because of the books you've placed here, not because I have no business here.
That caused quite a stir at the water cooler at the library. My goodness.
Like, because you're sitting in the teenage section. They have DVDs and Blu-rays. Those movies?
Oh, we're losing it. What's happening? What's going on?
There's a restraining order against me at the library, you guys.
Yeah, Dad's comedy is so bad it fucks up tech. Computers are like, no, this doesn't compute. All right,
here. Yeah, you've heard enough.
There's a restraining order against me at the library, you guys. I do have an illegal copy of Lake House, if you guys want to borrow one. It says property of the Library of Pasadena. If you guys want to see it.
That's what's, it's infuriating that Dat thinks everything in his life is interesting. Like, I went to the library today. Oh, that it reminds me when we saw him in Havre de Grace, and the first like 15 minutes of his set were like, "This is the craziest town." You guys, there's like there's a Pinkberry next door, and there's a Chick-fil-A. What the heck are you guys doing out here? It's like, so there are two places that serve food? What? I don't understand. Why is that interesting, Dad? What the fuck are you talking? He's like, there's a park nearby and a Chick-fil-A. It's like, yeah, that's how a town is set up, Dad. What do you? He thinks everything is ripe for comedy without him doing any of the legwork. It's bizarre.
Well, I don't know if you've heard Blind Mike, but this man almost won Last Comic Standing. So, I mean, you got to trust his instincts.
As a matter of fact, he did win, actually.
No. That guy won?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Won. Yeah.
Where's that? That show's still obviously around because it's birthed thousands of famous comedians, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, it did. Like, Amy Schumer came from there.
So far, not doing so good. Dat Phan and Amy Schumer. Oh,
Eliza
my God.
Schlesinger. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, there's another lady that fucked half of Hollywood. All right. Who else?
I guess you've got a point. Yeah.
All right.
There
Yes.
is good news though. We checked it on Dat Phan's TikTok, but a tease for probably next week.
Yes.
Pete Gergio has uploaded.
Oh no.
An hour's worth of comedy onto TikTok.
What?
He posted maybe he only posts like once a year now, but it's rapid fire because he went a year without posting and now he's posted 50 clips in the last week. It's crazy.
Maybe he has some sort of audio program that only allows him to use fake laughs like once a year. You can only get them for once a year.
Yeah, he wears out the subscription.
Very quick. Real quick super chat here, Blind Mike. We have from Nick West, $5. Sad Craig's pedo ring finally got popped. Pump for the hack right era. Hey-o. But he beat
it's probably symbolic that it's on Mother's Day that they finally quit on him, you know?
Yes.
That was the group that was fighting against him for so long, his concerned mothers.
Yes, MAC, Mothers Against Craig. Mothers Against Craigers.
Absolutely.
All right, what's next, Blind Mike? We got some good stuff. We got Ty Rivera.
Oh, okay, let's check it on Ty Rivera real quick. Is he talking about us? I don't think so.
No.
But someone reached out to me here and said, like, I think this is about you. I don't think so based on a couple of factors that he gets into. But Ty has noticed certain channels talking about him. Now, the timing of this is unfortunate because last week we talked about, we saw a good display of Ty Rivera. He's calmed down a little bit. He doesn't seem to be as irresponsibly burning bridges. And now he's being honest. But this is him talking about a show that's been covering him. So let's see if it's us.
Now I'm starting to get sick of these things. All right, here we go.
His name is Ty Rivera. And about Joe Rogan, he don't care. Ty.
Okay, this is what we do. We're gonna pull the Eddie Murphy, you guys, put on white makeup and hang out with white people. Yeah.
Oh,
I hear definitely look. Jamie Black, J. Cole.
What's happening?
I have no idea. I think it's an editing thing. Hold on, we're going to move forward here. All right, a little Ty Rivera.
I've heard.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
White makeup.
Oh, no. I might have fucked something up, Blind Mike.
T, you guys, I lived in a Prius.
People really understanding why Craig makes the big bucks.
God damn it. All right. So the thing is, with Ty Rivera, I sort of think I burned down some of the Tom Brady clips with him. So can you just describe what he said, Blind Mike?
Oh, well, guys, imagine if he was talking about a show that talked about him that seems like us. I guess we'll just move on. We can't talk about it.
Yeah, he's honestly not worth it. Every time you send me Ty Rivera stuff, I'm like, who is this guy sitting in his couch talking about a guy with $1 billion in Austin? Why do you cover it? All right, here's the real question, Blind Mike. Why are you covering Ty Rivera?
Well, I think he was talking about us, but now we'll never know.
Oh, God damn it. I really fucked that one up. All right. Well, that will be released later on Patreon. And, sorry about that. If I would have had some help last night, Electra, I'm not passing the buck.
Sorry. You know what? What do you say? It's Mother's Day. People are looking to get back to their families, I'm sure. Let's close out with a little boogie.
Oh, yes. It does.
There's no chance we get through this whole thing, but I just wanted to give people a little taste of it.
Yes, and now I'm frightened that we're going to hear some Tom Brady roast under Boogie. I'm just kidding. It's not going to happen. But I'm just kidding. But I will say this. I have not received as much feedback on anything you cover as Boogie.
I agree.
It's weird. I got so much feedback from it, from content creators, from fans, and all this. People who never contact me. They're like, cover more Boogie. And I'm like, we can't just create shows out of thin air.
Well, credit to Hack Ride, because I meant to, for a while, I've been meaning to dip back into Boogie, and he doesn't have any other podcasts up, so I was like, oh, maybe there's nothing. And Hack Ride was like, oh, no, there's a bunch of stuff on YouTube that we can look through. Yes. So credit to Hack Ride for reminding me of that. And we'll, like I said, we're not going to get through this whole thing. I don't think even close. But I knew right out of the gate this would be fun, because if you remember the last time we talked about Boogie, we picked up on something. He's a man of African-American persuasion, yes?
The braids tell me so, yes.
He seems to be self-hating in some way, because every problem that he encountered in the Suge Knight story that he was telling, every issue he had with this club, you would think would be like a Fox News story, where they're like, he was worried about the race of the people in the bar, every minor interaction, he was terrified, he was, clutching for his wallet, make sure his wallet and keys were still on him, that he hadn't been robbed. It was very weird to hear a black man talk about being around other black men in the way that Boogie was. And that's why I found the intro to this podcast so fascinating. So, what is this Hack Ride? Is it it's a series of videos he was doing on YouTube. Was it a podcast?
Yes, so this was his video podcast, his way to connect with the outside world and his fans. And he did about...
Is this still story time, or is it a different show?
No, it's story time. Okay. And there's only 6 episodes in total. And then he gave up a little bit, and then, the whole diddling thing at Nickelodeon, and he got a call, and that was the next video on there. So these 6 sort of just languished on his site forever. And you watched one of them with Krieger's.
So that's the only one that's up in audio form. I didn't realize these were up on his YouTube. So this is fun, but this is one of his episodes of story time, I guess. And he gets right back into, I kind of thought we created a character around Boogie that maybe didn't exist. I was like, there's no way this guy's actually racist towards black people, right? But then he starts this podcast out. It's vexing. It's very strange.
Now, please apologize for this, but we have to play the whole thing. Here we go.
Danny, what's cracking? Oh, come on. Woo! Bad, creepy dude.
It's Boogie, baby.
I did not have sexual relations.
You're about to see something very serious about sexual misconduct. Strap in.
Hey, it's Boogie.
Hey, it's Boogie.
Yes,
we
Boogie.
can fast forward to this, right?
We are not. I'm contractually obligated. All right.
Hey, it's Boogie.
Hey, it's Boogie.
This is crazy.
Hi, I'm Dingleberry.
Hello,
How
Boogie.
long is this?
Hey, it's Boogie. Back for another hard...
This is what Boogie needs. Boogie requires an intro of this caliber.
Hello, Boogie. Hey, it's Boogie. Back
What
for
else you
another
gotta
hard
do? You gotta go
interview.
say hi to Mom.
Hey,
Come on.
Boogie.
She'll still be there, Mike. She'll be your hot mom after this intro.
To the people in the comments today, I get it. I finally get it. I usually fight for Hack Ride, but Jesus.
You just can't see the dancing going on screen right now.
R.I.P.
He was on iCarly?
I played T-Ball and Nickelodeon by iCarly.
Hold on. Let's drink that in. Hack Ride, what are we doing? Until now.
We are doing an intro to Boogie from the last Boogie. We've worked on this for another minute. Here we go.
Another minute? I'm being serious. We got to fast forward. This is crazy.
You're someone who will sit there and talk to someone for 20 minutes about Ty Rivera, but you won't watch some good shit. This is where you just need to relax, Mike, and let the visuals do their thing. Here we go.
Hey, how are you?
Fucking kids?
He's so pissed already.
I'm okay.
I'm fast forwarding.
I say Boogie.
Boogie. Boogie. Boogie.
Hey, it's Boogie.
It's Boogie. Oh, hello, Boogie.
Hi, I'm Box Eating Dad from X. I saw the documentary.
Oh, boom, shakalaka.
It is really a good video, Mike. You're just missing the elements of it that are really good.
I think maybe we'll talk about Boogie next week. And
No, stop it. Stop it.
I
Stop
can't
it.
do this. This is crazy.
Where the boogie? We're here. We're here. We've arrived.
Okay.
Wasn't something that I was looking forward to doing. I mean, you don't hear a bunch of black people talk about, "I'm finna go to Aspen this weekend." You just don't. And as far as black people are concerned, just me speaking for me, I judge my safety based upon how many black people gonna be there. For the good and the bad. If it's too many black people, what kind of black folks is these? If it ain't enough black folks, where the fuck we at?
I think he's literally talking about like limiting the actual number. Like he wants a specific amount of black people on the planet. he's talking about fucking eugenics or something. I don't know.
He's a goddamn. He's a proud boy.
I gauge. And no front, you do that shit too. You do that shit too. It ain't just me. Gotta have the essentials. I'm over here talking. I gotta have that Carmex. That's one way. Listen, when I go to a place like when there's not a lot of black people, I find myself hunting for black folks.
That's not the right word.
That's what Craig does.
Not like hunting, like I want to go talk and be cool with him. No.
Not like I want to go talk and be cool with him.
Not that.
Not that. Like I have a scope and a rifle.
He's like, no. The way you assume, actually, the way it came off, it sounded like I couldn't mean it that way. I do. I have a bow and arrow with me.
This guy's.
I just need to know: are there any more black people here? I saw a couple, but it was like that whole first day. I ain't seen nobody that look like me. I describe it as: you ever been pouring a bowl of Frosted Flakes, and that extra dark crispy flake come out?
No,
that's how I felt in that
thing.
No, I've never had that experience ever in my life.
All right, so he's searching for a place where he's the only black person, I guess. Is that what he's trying to say?
And also hunting others. So I'm in a place with only me as the black person. I'm hunting other black people.
I shoo them away. I say, guys, I'm one of the good ones. I'll keep you safe.
And then once I did finally see some black folks, I was judgmental. I was judgmental as fuck. I needed to know what kind of black folks these was. See, because it's a couple type of black people. It's a couple kinds of black.
Boogie, you can't think this is an original premise, right?
Yes, I think that host of that sports show in the 70s had this same opinion, right? A little longer Catholic. Yes, he's just doing Jimmy the Greek.
Folks out there. And I needed to know what kind of black people come to Aspen. So when I saw these black people, I was judgmental as hell. Off the jump. Just judgmental. I needed to know. You ghetto as hell? Are you ghetto? Are you hell? Am I gonna be embarrassed? You running around as representation
Am I gonna be embarrassed? Running around. Listen to how he's talking. Imagine a white guy talking about black people. It's wild.
Yes, I do not understand this at all. This is some self-hate on a new level.
We'll listen to a little more Boogie, and then we'll save most of this for another week, I think. But it's fascinating to me to watch this man. Like, we kind of created something out of thin air. I didn't really think. I honestly kind of thought we took a couple things out of context that made Boogie sound racist, but we did it. Like, I think he's genuinely a racist.
Yes, this man definitely has a stack of MAGA hats behind him there. We're not seeing this man.
Let's hear a little more.
Isn't me, but you kind of are. Especially when it ain't a bunch of us around. When there ain't a bunch of us, the last thing as a black dude you want is somebody embarrassing you. Even if you don't know him. You know why?
Hold on. Just go back real quick. Just go back to the Boogie stuff. I've heard Craig's off-air conversations before. Go back to the Boogie recording, please.
Which Boogie?
It was a joke. I was saying that Craig is having these conversations off-air. Stay with me.
Okay, I get it. He beat the charge, Mike.
All right. Well, you guys get the gist. I think we'll save this for another week because I want to do a whole Boogie breakdown. And I feel like the momentum really.
Most white folks think we know each other. I mean, questions that was the dumbest questions in the world, only based on.
Yeah, no, we'll save Boogie for another week. I'll let people get back to their their holiday because it is Mother's Day. And we'll do that another time. But was there anything else you wanted to get to, Hackride, before we take off here?
Yeah, just a little something called the Blind Mike Blind Spot game. Here we go.
Oh, that's really the game. I forgot.
That's right, baby.
Game time, gearheads. Hey, Blind Mike, it is good to see you again. You look a little heavier. Those fatter YouTube paychecks allow some things off the fancy menu. Now I see.
Ew.
Well, I can't think of anyone that deserves it more than you, Blind Mike. The demon asked, I put together a game today, and instead of finding out interesting facts about your blind spots, Blind Mike, we were curious if you knew anything at all about the staff that works so diligently and creatively for you. So we kept the name, but instead of being their blind spots about you, this is Blind Mike Blind Spot. Let's find out how much you watch, how much you care about these two morons.
You get the game, right? Yes.
Yeah, so this is about you and Electrify or you and Craig?
Me and Electrify. We're leaving Craig out of this today. He beat the charges. We're giving him a week off. So this is just about me and the Fry Lady. What does Blind Mike know about me and the Fry Lady? We work hundreds of hours for this man a year.
Yes.
And let's see if he knows anything about us at all.
Let's see.
So the game is very simple, Blind Mike. And please talk out your answers so we can grasp the detail in which you know these so-called friends. There will be 6 questions. If you score a 4 or above, that is an A+. 3 or below is a F-. Pretty simple scoring system, because if you don't know half the shit about the people you call friends, then you don't really know them at all.
I don't know if I've ever used that term, but keep going, Jer.
It's Jerry's term. This is Jerry's terminology.
That seems a little
Are
strong
you
to me.
ready,
but all right.
Blind Mike? Here we go. I'd say don't cheat chat and put the answers in the chat. But please feel free to do that all you want. It won't help him. Time to play. First question, Blind Mike. What days of week are the 2 flagship shows of Hackride Studios, Puzzlebox and Catch-22 on? Is it number 1, Monday and Thursday? Is it number 2, Tuesday and Friday? Is it number 3, Wednesday and Saturday? Or finally, is it number 4, Tuesday and Thursday?
All right, Blind Mike, we have 2 shows over there, and they're on 2 nights a week. What nights?
I know Puzzlebox is on Thursdays. I believe Catch-22 is on Tuesdays. I was going to say Monday at first. The final answer threw a monkey wrench in there. I'm going to say Tuesdays and Thursdays.
All right, can I lock you in on Tuesday and Thursdays? Number 4.
Lock it in.
All right, we're locked in. All right, to number 4, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Here we go. 2, 1, and here we go.
Okay, Blind Mike, are you locked in?
Yes.
Okay, if you said number 4, Tuesdays and Thursdays, you would be right. An easy way to remember that
Congratulations.
Thursdays, Puzzlebox has always been after Who Are These Socials.
I know that.
And Catch You Next Tuesday will remind you when Catch-22 is on the Hack Ride Network.
Because it says cunt.
Remember, whenever you
Catch
think
You Next
DJ Electrify, think cunt. I really hope you got that right. They don't get easier. Okay, number 2.
1 for 1, Mike. I'm very proud of you. All right, keep track for me, chat, because we need to know if he gets 4. He gets an A+ if he gets 4. Here we go.
Who did 8 out of the 9 voiceovers for the intro for Gearbox? The critically acclaimed, little watched after show to the Blind Mike Project. Was it number 1, Krager's? Was it number 2? Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Was it me, Jerry Seinfeld? Or was it number 3, the one and only David Collins? Blind Mike, I am going to need you to lock in an answer.
All right, Blind Mike. Who did 8 out of the 9 voiceovers for Gear? I mean, if you watch 2 of them, you know this. No, you got Krager's? You got Jerry Seinfeld? Or you got oh, no, he doesn't know.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. If I watched 2, I would know.
You would know. I mean,
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I could have watched the 2, one of them being where the other person did one.
You could have watched them all late and had no idea, but give us a guess. You got a 33% chance here.
I believe it's Jerry Seinfeld.
All right, can I lock you in on number 2, Jerry Seinfeld?
Lock me in.
All right, we're locking him in. Here we go, folks. And we got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, folks. If you picked the fastest comedian to become a billionaire, then you picked right.
Congratulations,
That is
Blind
right.
Mike.
See,
George
I know
truly
this
was
show.
the announcer for Gearbox, although it didn't seem to help much.
There you go.
I'm hoping you are 2 for 2, Blind Mike.
He is, Jerry. He's 2 for 2, unbelievably so. We didn't expect that.
Question number 3. What was DJ Electra's career before becoming a radio DJ and finally a YouTube superstar?
Uh-oh.
Was it number 1?
I don't know.
She mentions it every 5 seconds, Blind Mike. It's so
Oh, no,
annoying.
I'm sure I'll know.
Okay, here we go.
Veterinary technician. Was it number 2? A human resources manager? Was it number 3? A registered nurse? Or was it number 4? Certified EMS technician? This is a hard one, Blind Mike. Go ahead and lock in an answer.
All right, so we got a veterinary technician, an HR manager, a registered nurse, or a certified EMS EMT technician. Blind Mike, what was DJ Electra's career before YouTube? She mentions every 10 seconds.
Oh, this is tough. I don't think she's ever mentioned it.
She mentions it so often.
I think you're wrong about that. I didn't hear any of the horrible songs I had to sit through.
It made you
Where was
almost.
it then?
Those songs almost made you quit your show. Let's be honest. That's what's really got you.
Something is leaping out at me about EMS technician, so I'm going to go with that one.
All right, can I lock you in on the EMS?
lock me in.
I'm gonna lock you in. All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, if you said DJ Electra was and is a registered nurse, you win this round. You also now understand why we don't mess with someone who has saved and legally murdered hundreds, if not thousands.
Yes, you are aware that nurses have murdered thousands of people, right, Mike? So we don't fuck with DJ Electrify at all.
That's their main job, as I understand it.
It is, yes. So I kind of fooled you there because, I threw the EMT, I threw the vet tech, I threw a bunch of medical stuff in there.
Yeah, I knew it was in that realm.
Yes, so, but still a
It wasn't
loss.
Human resources.
She would not be good at that. 2 for 3. All right, you're 2 away, Mike, from an A+. Here we go.
We love you, DJ Electra Fry. All right, Blind Mike, we are halfway there. All you need is one correct answer to win. That is assuming you're a great friend and got all these correct so far. I'm
almost, Jerry.
Question number 4. Name one character from Hack Ride Studios that didn't appear on the show today.
Now, this is a layup.
There are no multiple choices for this question. Just name one character, Blind Mike.
All right, so I was really worried right here you would be 0 for 3, so we wanted to give you a layup.
Oh, no, that's easy. Yawn, the toilet.
Yes! All
Boner,
right.
the boner, of course.
Oh, no, you don't get extra points for that.
All right.
But yes, so you are 3 out of 4.
Okay, well, I hope you were able to name a character, Blind Mike, and now it is just time for
Jerry.
some extra credit points.
We're 1 away, Jerry. He didn't get them all yet.
Question number 5. What instrument is DJ Electra well known for playing?
All right, here we go.
Can I tell you something and take a little solace in this hack ride?
Yes.
All this test is proving is that I don't give a fuck about Electra.
I don't know. Well,
It's got nothing to do with you, really. I know all the hack ride questions.
well, that's why I didn't ask him. You're an expert in the demon. I had to, but she does mention these things every 5 seconds. So here we go. Here's another one. Hey, what instrument? I mean, just logic it out in your head. It is a woman with very large breasts. What instrument is she playing? Here we go.
Okay.
Is it number 1, piano? Is it number 2, drums? Is it number 3, bass guitar? Or is it number 4, the violin? Okay, Blind Mike, lock in.
All right, Blind Mike. Lock it in. Piano, drums, bass, or violin. What do you imagine the big-titted fry lady to be playing?
I'll be honest. Unless you're trying to throw me off the scent, you continuing to mention her breasts makes me feel like violin, perhaps? she rests them atop?
When you think of violins, you think of titties, huh, Blind Mike? That's something new we knew.
I mean, more than any, I can't imagine how it would tie
Hey-o.
into drums or the piano. So
No,
I'll go with violin.
Okay, yes. Can we lock you in?
Lock me in.
We're locking it into the violin, the viola, the titty viola, as Blind Mike likes to call it. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
With just 2 answers left, the answer here is, of course, DJ Electrify is known the world over for being a slapper of the bass guitar.
No!
So if you pick this blind mic, you get yet another point.
Yeah, the tits had nothing to do with it. I just like mentioning them.
I thought maybe you were throwing me off.
I was throwing you under some titty.
I know there is no need, because I am sure Blind Mike has just killed this test of his friendship skills.
You know, he's doing better than I thought he would. He's 3 out of 5. I think he's
But
doing
here's
way
the final question for Blind Mike.
Yeah, this is it. For all the marbles, Blind Mike. This is it.
Blind Mike, your last question is fill in the blank. DJ Electrify and Hackride the Demon have, number 1, have met in real life. Number 2, have not met in real life. Or number 3, have not met but were at the same venue at the same time and didn't know. So it kind of counts. Blind Mike, I know you don't need this one, and it's just a cherry on the top. But for that slight chance that you need this one, what is your answer, and are you locked in?
All right, Blind Mike, this is for everything. This is for the Super Bowl.
Well, of course,
have we met? Have we not? Or were we at the same venue?
as a Gearbox listener, I know this. It's been talked about a lot. You haven't met, but you were at the same venue, as we all know.
Can I lock you in?
Lock me in.
Three, 2, 1.
All right, this is very exciting. The answer to the question, have DJ Electra and Hackride met? The answer is yes, they have. Moving on. Hopefully...
God damn it, Blind Mike! You got an F- on this! I tried everything. Of course we've met.
That's an F-?
Yes, we only get 3. It was a very... we explained the scoring system at the beginning.
Either an A or an F. Yeah.
It was an A or an F. This is a pass or fail class, maybe.
Okay.
But I gotta say, I would say that you did show a little more interest in the questions than I thought you would. But yes, me and DJ Electrify have met. We met at the Shuli event where we were going to help with the sound. And we played some...
Of course, I knew that. I was just messing around.
It's canon. We bowled. We bowled a game of bowling. So yes, we have met. And so let's see what, Jerry, I'm sorry. It was so close, Jerry. It was so close.
For what we have proven is the best friend a
Mike's goal was 3 out of 6. Is he a good friend? I'd say yes.
Person can have. I mean, no one would believe that you struggled with...
He let me play those stupid songs all his show on his channel. Thank you, Mike.
Such easy question about people who you claim to care about so dearly. More people need friends like you, Blind Mike.
Yes.
Thank you for playing the game, and thank you for your indifference to Gearbox Blind Mike, a show that was all about you by people who loved you and what you do. That was just a giant waste of my rich-ass time. I tried telling these too. Dreams are for losers. Just yell at people and call people untalented, and you'll be on your way, baby.
I don't know if that's what I do.
No, that's not what you do. That's what Jerry told us to do. He's like, quit trying to be funny. Try to just get in these internet skirms, scrums.
Thanks, everyone. This is Jerry Seinfeld saying good night. And fuck off.
Yes, Jerry says, fuck off. Yes, that was fun.
Well, thank you, Jerry. Yes.
I am actually impressed by your knowledge. And you were confident about the ones you got wrong. So that gives me confidence in you.
Well, yeah, as I said, I would never be a Gearbox fan, not based on the...
What?
Not based on the content of it. I'm my least favorite subject. I don't want to watch me be covered. I don't want to watch me be praised or criticized in any direction. And when I tuned into the first episode, and it was just you and Carl insulting me for 45 minutes, I was like, oh, this isn't... I don't want to watch this. It's not,
well, that was not the original... That was not the original plan. That just
I understand.
I'm gonna blame the nerd from Rochester on that one. I'm just hosting, and he's like, but I gave him a platform where he got it out. And look at you guys now. Oh, just a superstar tandem.
Of course, I understand, and I'm not even blaming the fact that it happened. I'm saying it's not something I would want to watch. You see, any analysis of me is not for me. But
yes. That's why it will not exist in that form, but it will come back when you do special stuff.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, so look for that, hackrideTheDemon.com. And as you heard there, shows every Tuesday and Thursday, as we all already knew.
You like how I got that in there?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, I've got a few super chats here, Blind Mike, before you get on your day, and make sure you give your mother some flowers and some food. You came out of her vagina, for God's sake. All right, Nick West, $2. Becoming less excited about the Hackride era. Oh, no. All right, yeah, so I've...
Oh, a disastrous day from Hackride. But on all counts, the tech has been rough. You're making Craig look good here. This has been tough.
That's what that was the goal. This was the give Craig uppers and make him look good show. All right, Manny Muskets with $2. I'm too mad at Hackride to enjoy Boogie being funny. God damn it, I'm sorry, Manny.
We were on the same page there, Manny. You may have noticed why I cut it off early.
Yes, he cannot sit in his head for 2 minutes and listen to a song and enjoy it. I understand why you don't like music now. All right, $5 from Dang Lizard. All right, I suck. I get it. Hackride just doesn't know when enough is enough. Ever heard the phrase "less is more"? Not everyone needs epilepsy-inducing content and has ADHD.
I've tried. That's actually a phrase I have tried to impart on Hackride time and again, and he does not listen to me. How many times have I said to you, "Less is more"?
I started off so calm. How dare you people? $2 from Nick West. Finally on topic. Thank you, Nick West. Samuel L. Jackson in Django was based on Boogie. Hey-oh.
Well, yeah, there's some of that, for sure.
Yes, thank you for not being about me. All right, that is all. And you can find, where can people find you, Blind Mike? Where they can find all the good stuff.
BlindMike.net, of course. But if you're watching this on YouTube right now, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like us, comment, all that stuff. Helps more people find the show, boosts us in the algorithm, so make sure you do all that. We appreciate it. We're also wherever you get podcasts. All the links are at blindmike.net. And if you want to support the show a little more, with a price as low as a cup of coffee every month, $5 a month, you get bonus content and early access to a bunch of stuff that we do. So consider becoming a Patreon or YouTube member. Get us to 1,000 on Patreon. What do you say? And mercifully, Craig will be back next week. So everyone go to verygoodshow.org and support Rubbed Out and Very Good Show and all of that. But as you heard, we do love, we joke, but we do love Hackride here, of course. And he does shows every Tuesday and Thursday night, as you heard in that game. But make sure you go to hackridethedemon.com. And all kidding aside, I think we've done, I think our YouTube channel has done more, we've gotten more views in the first 4 months of this year than we did all of last year. And a lot of that is thanks to Hackride and all the thumbnails and clips and stuff that Hackride provides. So go support the Demon and DJ Electrify, will you?
Yes, thank you so much, Blind Mike. And yes, go to djelectrify.com as well. She's really a powerhouse, so make sure you support her as well.
Where the hell is she? I don't think she deserves it.
I don't know. It would have been a lot better to promote when she's here. But she did do a ton of work, and she was on stream late last night with Wendy, from Howard Stern. So yeah, she gets around, man.
All right. Yeah, so go check out those ladies. Support Hackride, support Craig, support the gang, the crew, the family here at the Blind Mike Project, and go to blindmike.net as well. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Yes, happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
A little message from Norm before we leave.
Well, hello there, Blind Mike. This is not Norm MacDonald. I just want to make that clear at the beginning here. I'm the imagined husk of a zombified version of what you might call a general thought of what Norm might be like. You understand that, right? It's called satire. Now I know you might get some icky feeling inside seeing your hero torn apart and turn into a monster from the undead. But you've seen Ellen. It can happen to any comedian. I actually just came on to ask you one thing, Blind Mike Geary. Instead of commenting on the comedy, why don't you get up off that bar stool and grab a microphone and do some comedy of your own? You know the rotted out corpse of Norm MacDonald would support you. So get out there, blind man, and do something I can't. Make people laugh. Do it for me, kiddo. I challenge you from the grave. Good night, blind man. And fans of the blind man, your brains all look delicious.
Thanks for watching The Blind Mike Project. And go to .net for all your Blind Mike needs. And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Now, here are the musical stylings of Wendy.
Damn, he's a fucking loser. Kiss my ass, bitch, and go to hell. Damn, he's a fucking loser. And I really been squeezing OJ. Squeeze. And is it true? I thought I seen Tukey bit you one day on the live stream. Bite your cock. Squeeze. I guess I'll talk to you all later. Yo, my name is Poon. I'm a poon handler. I love to ride on a train. Chugga-lugga train. Poonie tang train. Boom, poonie tang, right on a train. We're on a roller coaster train. Chugga-lugga poonie tang.